Good morning. Welcome in. This update presented by Hamul Casino. Padres with another head-scratching weekend, losing 2 of 3 to the Cubbies, but they still got a chance to split the series today with one more against the Cubs at home. Starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners. Padres now 27-32 on the season, 4th place in the NL West. Speaking of the NL West, they all lost yesterday. Rockies lose to the Royals 2-0. Dodgers lose to the Yankees 4-0. Giants fall to the Orioles 8-3, and the D-backs lose to the Braves 8-5. NBA Finals, they just got interesting. It got real. Miami Heat wins Game 2 in Denver 111-108. Series now moving back to Miami for 2 games as the Heat have taken over home court advantage. Game 3 Wednesday at 5:30. And in the Stanley Cup Final, Game 2 tonight, Vegas Golden Knights hold a 1-0 lead in the series. Puck drop at 5. Kick off summer at Hamul Casino's annual block party on Saturday, June 17th with live music, DJs, free food, $20 in free play, and lots of fun. See HamulCasinoSD.com for complete details. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Obvious.
This is Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Those goofy bastards are just about the best thing I've got going in this crazy world.
Makes you proud to be an American.
On San Diego Sports 760. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Just 3 guys talking sports, having fun, and doing fat guy things. Another week begins.
The entire office has come down with a pernicious case of the Mondays.
Was it a happy Sunday at Petco?
See what happened at first?
Plus, could the Heat answer the bell in Game 2 of the NBA Finals? Now, here are the guys.
Yeah, happy Monday to everyone out there and everyone who celebrates. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you this morning to answer those questions in order. No and yes. No, the Padres didn't have a happy Sunday. Yes, the Heat were able to answer the bell. And here we are, staring down a highly contentious Game 3 in Miami. That'll tip off on Wednesday. And then we have the Padres, whose inconsistencies continue to follow them through the weekend against the Cubs here at home. They don't look like they've got much heart at home, which is a real problem. San Diego fans are kind of miffed. It's been a tough one. But before we get to the Padres, we have a huge week of ahead of us here at San Diego Sports 760. We have an all-station event coming up on Wednesday on the Mesa, San Diego State Jam Center. We have a 1v1 basketball game between Ben Fletcher, our co-host here, Travis, and Jonathan Rifkin, who's the midday show producer. For those who don't know, and he is now. I mean, it's shot for shot.
Oh man, it is. Absolutely. We fired a shot across the bow with a little training teaser, and then J-Riff, he fires back. Unbelievable. We're gonna play the audio. Listen, I thought it was pretty damn good. You didn't think so?
I thought it was adorable. I thought he did a great job.
Adorable.
I think what we should do.
The dude was. Slam dunking, man.
Travis, okay. I don't understand why Travis is so obsessed with J-Riff. I thought you were on Team Fletch.
I am on. Obviously, I am. But come on, dude. You gotta look at your opponent here and go. I think we better be ready. I don't want you to be over cocky going into this thing.
I think we're all Team Fletch here. But I will say this: like all of a sudden, oh wow, my camera's upside down. If you're streaming us live on YouTube, you can see the adjustment being made here. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm impressed. I didn't know he had it in him.
It was a great video. It was really well done. I think it was self-produced. He didn't have the equipment that we had to work with, or the Griffin that we had to work with.
Well, the Griffin.
The Griffin. Yeah, we had the Griffin.
Can we refer to him as the Griffin for now?
He's earned it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he certainly has.
I will say that a lot of it could be deep fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the slam dunk was deep fake 101.
I don't know, man.
Sure. What about the voiceover?
The voiceover was badass. You got Snoop on that thing.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, he put some time, he put some effort, and I will say this: he's been training basketball. That's clear. Ben has not.
Dude, I did my time training for basketball, like 15, 16 years of it.
Ben,
I don't
however,
need anymore.
Not training for basketball. You do look much more golden brown today.
Oh yeah, I'm bronze. Took a nice little vacay.
Okay, so while Jonathan
all the training
Jonathan
he's
Rifkin,
also on vacation. He's at a wedding in San Francisco. I'm doing his job today. Like, he's not even here.
Wow.
Well, wow.
This is incredible.
Wow. You know what? He's probably actually training.
Yeah.
He spent a day at USF, which is really nice. University of San Francisco. He was there in their workout facility playing some basketball. Good for him. I'm not worried.
I will say this. I'm starting to maybe doubt the fact that I have you training without a basketball.
Dude, it's fine.
You
I
think
promise
so?
you. I've still logged more hours in my life than Jonathan Rifkin has playing basketball.
For anybody who missed our video or missed Jonathan Rifkin, we'll retweet it out from our account, from
Did
the
J-Riff
station
put it
account.
on Twitter?
I don't know if he did
I
yet.
don't know either.
Yeah, we were waiting, but like once he goes live with it, we will tweet it out as well, because I mean, I've never been so impressed at 4:00 in the morning than I was this morning when I woke up to Jonathan Rifkin answering the bell. I thought we had him down and out in terms of fight promotion. I mean, this guy answers. So this is exciting all of a sudden. You'll see. We'll play the audio at 6:30. I think we'll ease our way into that. But yeah, we'll play ours and then we'll play Jonathan's. Jonathan had Snoop Dogg narrate his.
Yeah, we still have another bullet in the gun, though.
Oh yeah,
We haven't put out our.
We have a few. Actually.
Yeah, we haven't put out our best stuff yet.
Perfectly honest with it.
Like from what he's seen, he may have the upper leg so far with that video,
or hand.
Oh, well.
No, either way.
but we have not put out our best stuff.
Leg.
We're gonna leg drop him is what we're gonna do.
What if he has totally bamboozled us though, and he has you doing his job all day so he can go practice?
Wow.
I think he's at a wedding today.
That's what he told
That's
you.
what, that's what he said to
Yeah.
you.
I mean, what it looks like to me is this guy's hard at work.
Right.
Putting in the man hours.
You know what was great is last week you were kind of harping on me. You need to take a vacation. You need to take some time off.
You do need to take some time
And then
off.
I was like,
Take a
oh
vacation.
man, this would be great if we all went and did this and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Where's Ben Fletcher this weekend?
I was in Palm Springs. Kendall and I went away for the weekend.
Relaxing by the pool.
Oh,
No
it was
big deal.
fantastic. Yeah, take my advice, dude. I'm telling you, it was great. Like, we did nothing for 2 days. It just sat by the pool.
You earned it.
Yeah, you did.
I love my man Ben. I mean, nobody knows how to relax like
We
Ben.
had some
Fletcher.
teppanyaki on Saturday night, dude. I love teppanyaki.
Did you play any basketball?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
You know what I played? Drink the beer. It's a great game.
We are
Wow.
back
Should
in
try
the
it
wrong
sometime.
course. We have Jonathan Rifkin out there grinding away in the Bay Area.
Tell you what, it's great.
yeah.
Like on
He's
100
probably
degrees.
training at altitude.
oh,
That's probably
true.
the reason why he went
that's
away.
Right. That's right.
He probably found a really high gym somewhere.
He's at a gym at Lake Tahoe.
He's at sea level. He's in San Francisco.
That's what he told
That's
you.
what- yeah.
I'll tell you what's awesome. 100 degrees, like Palm Springs gets hot. So 100 degrees, sun is beautiful. We were sitting out by the pool. You boys ever mess with Miami Vices?
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about this last week.
yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, because all the while last week he's like, "Oh, Trav, you got to take a vacation." We had no idea why you were talking about vacation so much because you were poolside drinking damn Miami Vices. You were talking
By the
about
way-
Miami Vices like there was some distant thing. You're like, "Gosh, wouldn't it be nice?" Meanwhile, you knew it was on the menu this upcoming weekend.
The reflection in your sunglasses looked like it was Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
No, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're there at
You
the
were
pool
too
with
hammered to
your
realize.
beautiful wife, and the reflection in your glasses is just a masterpiece of
That is
of
cool.
pools and the blue skies.
He had
Oh, it's great.
the douchers on. He had the straight across the eyes. Like you're dealing with somebody who either drives a T-top Camaro
Hell yeah.
or like a Firebird
Yeah.
when they wear sunglasses, or they're like the second or third best on their softball team, but they tell everyone they're the best
100%.
when they wear
You just
sunglasses
described
like
me.
that.
To a T. I missed you guys. I wish you were there with me.
Oh, we missed you as well.
Yeah,
Missed you
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
We
Would
were-
have been nice.
We're hard. We're hard at work. The Hardwood and Balls Classic Trophy construction has begun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I started heating up metal, pounding some things out.
it's the Beast or the Yeast
Yeah.
Trophy, and it's coming to a jam center on the Mesa on Wednesday,
Right.
and I cannot wait for this contest. I will say this: I can wait to talk about the Padres. Like I could wait all day, and if we don't get to it on the show today, I would be just fine with that. But look, it's not getting any better, guys. I mean, it's
No.
it's not worse, but it's not getting any better.
Travis did the math last week. I did the math this morning. I got in a little earlier today, catching up on some things, but here's the math. In order for them to finish with their exact same record as last year, which everyone was expecting this year to be a lot better than last year, they would need to go 62-41 the rest of the way, meaning a win percentage of 602.
I love how you're like, got pretty early to knock this one out.
No, I tried to set it up. And I wanted to make sure I didn't get it wrong. I wanted to make sure we weren't doing math on the air. I wanted to make sure I got it right.
So I woke up extra early.
No, I was in here doing some other crap. But anyway, 62 and
What
41.
have to do with doing math?
It doesn't.
For like
62 and
5
41.
minutes.
62 and 41.
Yeah.
What has this team shown you that says they can do that?
Not much. I mean, really, they've shown me that they can. That's the reality of the situation. If this team is going to be a playoff team, they're going to have to completely do an about face. If this team is going to be a team like that we're hoping of the 2020s that Peter Seidler said will inevitably bring a championship to San Diego, they're going to have to play like they're being paid to play. They just aren't. You have 4 guys on this roster making $280 million or more over the course of their contract, if I have that correct. Tatis, Machado, Sander Bogarts, and who else?
Musgrove's making $100. I mean, Soto will be making that much.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Soto, yeah, he hasn't signed the deal yet, but I guess I'm lumping him in there. Even though, I mean, frankly, over the past 2 seasons, if I'm Juan Soto, I'm waking up every morning, in a cold sweat, wishing that I signed that $400 million contract with the Nationals.
Yeah, no kidding.
440.
Yeah, 440. Yeah, that was what was reported. I mean, it's just been bad, guys. I mean, compared to what they're supposed to do on paper, there's no other word to describe it. It has just been bad.
It's also just confounding because you see these glimpses, right? You see Saturday's game where it's like, okay, that's how it's supposed to look. Fernando Tatis, couple home runs in the game. They win 7-1.
Yeah.
Like this team kind of felt like it dominated the game from the beginning. And then you get glimpses like yesterday where there is zero fight in front of a huge home crowd at Petco Park on a Sunday, baseball, like all the things you would want. And there's zero fight, there's zero heart, there's zero anything from this team. It was just a giant nothing burger.
So what was the record? They had to go 62 and 41. That's to get 86 wins, right?
To get 89.
89 wins. Okay, well, here's the, I guess, better news if you want to find some sort of silver lining somewhere. They're 4.5 games out of the wild card race. So it's not like it's detrimental yet, but it's getting to be that time period where you got to turn something on.
Yeah.
And look, Saturday, they had the Vanderpump Rules girls come out and do the first pitch. I think that should happen every home game. I feel like that helps.
The Vanderpump Rule.
Yeah.
Was Sheeta out there?
I don't know. There's 2 people who were involved in some sort of scandal right now.
I will say this, though. They shut out the Cubs on Vanderpump Day.
Yeah.
And then they followed it up with a clubbing yesterday.
Right.
And I don't know who was responsible for first pitch yesterday, but if it isn't a Vanderpump, it isn't for me for the rest of the way. Can you imagine if they're just like, look, I mean, we got lucky or we're good. We just believe in ourselves more when we got the Vanderpumps out there. Could we just continue to have them out there?
The entire cast of the Vanderpump Rules show has to be out at Petco Park for the next 4 months.
And then there's this. Speaking of Juan Soto, so our buddy Kevin Acee caught up with him post-game in front of his locker in the clubhouse. Marty Caswell caught the whole exchange on camera, and she posted it to her Twitter. Give this a listen because this is this great question. This is the obvious question. I don't know how anybody in that clubhouse could be unprepared for this question. So just give a listen to Juan Soto's answer and try to make sense of this.
And that's been the thing. Great game and then a not so good one. Great game and not so good one offensively. Obviously, you guys can do it, but you're not doing it on a regular basis. Any ideas why?
I don't know. I don't think I'm the guy who respond to that question.
Okay.
I think we have those guys down there. They know better than me. I don't know. I really don't know what is going on. We have such a great team, but I don't know. It is. I just don't know what is the answer to that question.
Yeah. Look, here's the deal. You're not the 19-year-old kid with the Nationals anymore. You're a guy on the brink of signing one of the largest contracts in Major League history, we presume. You're arguably having one of the better seasons of all the veteran players that we just mentioned on this Padres roster. And this team's wildly inconsistent. And it sure is frustrating if you're a fan or if you're somebody who bought season tickets to watch the Padres. And to have that be the answer, I mean, it speaks to overall, in my opinion, the leadership in this clubhouse, which is lacking.
I have two questions coming out of that soundbite. First one, who are those other guys down there? Like, who do you mean? Is that coaching staff? Is that Manny Machado? Is that leadership on this team? Or is that coaches? Because that's two very different answers. Because if it's coaches, there's an issue where maybe the clubhouse has already been lost. And maybe that's just, it's going to be this way the rest of the year. Bomel gets fired at the end of the year. If it's other players, like that speaks to kind of what Kevin Acey's been writing with these quote unquote fissures in the clubhouse, these breaks in the clubhouse, the lack of communication in the clubhouse. I don't know which one's worse. Both of them seem dysfunctional to me. Both of them seem like things that can really ruin a season. Both of them seem pretty cancerous to this clubhouse. Second question, he said, we're a great team. Like, that's what he said. I don't understand what's going on. We're such a great team. How can we not be putting this together? You're not a great team. At least you haven't been to this point. You're an extremely disappointing team. So when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, what is happening in there that is so wrong? That's so different from what this team had in the Magic in 2020. It's not that different of a roster. It really isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree. And I think that when Soto starts to call anyone out, and there's no names being named here, but look, man, you have had a decent season after about game 15 to 20. Things are looking better. Last night, you didn't have a great game. That seems like a weird comment to make when you go 0 for. In fact, I mean, there's Machado 0 for. Cronenworth still on a skid here. It was a rough outing. I take a little bit of accountability on yourself as well. You know, hey, look, I know there's people struggling. I also need to step up. You know, I had a rough game tonight. Whatever it is, you sound so much better. Throwing stuff like this out to me is you're kind of saying, look, man, I feel like I've done my part. I'm done.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Kenny Powers in there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like
if you look on Twitter right now, everyone's saying, "Oh, well, Soto's just done with the Padres." Either he thinks he's going to be traded, he thinks it's at the end of the year they're going to figure out some way to move off of him. I don't know that that's the case, but I do think that soundbite speaks in volumes to what's actually happening in the clubhouse.
Does it sound like a guy wants to be here?
Nope, not to me.
Yeah. See, that's the reason why people are reacting that way, because the truth is, if he loved it here, if this team, say they had the inverse record and it wasn't perfect, but you know, they were coming on a little bit, you know, maybe still a little inconsistent, but hovering a few games above 500, underperforming for what their roster suggests they should be like this season, but in there, right? In the fight. This team just lacks fight. It lacks leadership. And I don't know if it's because the front office is undermining the manager. I don't know if it's because you have such a hefty collection of stars. Nobody's going to take anybody else being their alpha. Like, you know, Juan Soto, when he walks into this clubhouse, is he going to take instruction from Manny Machado? Or does he go, well, I'm better than Manny? You know, Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, we saw a little bit of the friction between him and Manny when Fernando was healthy and before the suspension. And it all got swept under the rug because the Padres continued, you know, on this ascent. But now it's plateaued, or even worse, it's regressed. And there's serious questions. You know, is Bogarts going to take any tips or pointers from Bob Melvin after being in a stable organization like the Red Sox over the course of his career, winning World Series over there? Look, there are times where a super team's a great thing. And then there's times when Kevin Durant brings in the Beard and Kyrie in Brooklyn, and it doesn't work and it just gets blown up. So I'm praying to the lords of baseball that is not the case here in San Diego. But that's what it feels like to me. It feels like a leaderless ship right now.
Yeah, it does. And the problem with baseball is because it's such a long season with so many games, it's this real slow burn that you have to see. You know, run through things. When you're watching NBA, I mean, you can tell that there's a major problem in 20, 25 games. And then here we are 60 games in going, we could be dealing with something bad.
Yeah. You got to have a much larger sample size in baseball. And so you have to be patient, and it's hard to be patient, and you have to be good for long stretches. And baseball, like, it's such a fickle sport sport. And it's one of those games where, I mean, the Padres could rack off, say a 13-2 record from here until the end of June, if there are that many games, 15 games through June, whatever it is, and we would be singing a completely different song.
1,000,000%.
I mean, it's just it's one of those weird sports where a team, that could catch the contagion of great hitting, and they could hit their way out of the basement here of the NL West. I just don't know if I believe it can happen with the Padres right now, because again, I don't see one guy in this clubhouse grabbing the reins of this team and pulling them in a direction.
Correct.
And Bob Melvin included, which is, unfortunately, all he really is there to do. I mean, if you're going to be completely defanged by the analytics department and AJ Preller, like, your job is to be the psychologist. Your job is to be the kind of the head doctor here.
And I don't know who it is. Like, who's it supposed to be on the players? Because for years, I guess it was Craig Stammen, right? But Craig Stammen wasn't even a real emotional leader on the field, but I guess he was just the guy that would organize off-field activities. He would get the tee times for golf on the road. That's what he would do. A lot of people said Eric Hosmer was a huge part and was the leader of the clubhouse, and everyone really looked up to him. I got the assumption that he was kind of a cancer in the clubhouse, to be completely honest. That was the vibe I got. But now, who is it? I think it should be Musgrove. Personally, the San Diego kid, the person who's there, but is he doing it? And I don't know the answer to that. I think it should be Manny Machado. Who has the best track record of any of these players in terms of actual baseball? It's Manny.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
Yeah. No, that is the question. Who is it? Who will it be? And that's also part of the problem of when you're trying to diagnose what's going wrong and you can't put your finger on it. It's hard to sit here on our side and have faith that, it'll turn around, because we're all sitting here too going, I don't know. I mean, everybody should be good. Why is it not working?
Yeah, the why is what everybody's searching for. And on Twitter, and we'll get into this a little bit later on, Padres Twitter gets very strange, but there was some mention that AJ Preller and his meddling is the reason why this is all happening. And, the way he's known throughout the baseball world, or, sort of more in the inner dwellings of the baseball world. There's people who have a more nuanced understanding of the reasons why the Padres culture is bad, and it starts and ends with AJ Preller. I don't know if I believe that fully, but I also can tell you that heavy is the head that wears the crown. This is a creation of AJ Preller's of his wants and his desires. And Peter Seidler has pretty much blindly signed checks and has handed the program over to AJ Preller. And if he gets this wrong, and I mean, even if it's wrong in the sense that they miss the playoffs this year, I mean, that's going to raise a huge number of questions if I'm Peter Seidler and I'm signing these checks. So
if they miss the playoffs this year, they could go down in Major League history as one of the best teams on paper ever to not make the postseason.
In the world of sports.
Yes.
Not just baseball.
Yeah. And by the way, they expanded the postseason.
Right.
You have almost half the teams in this league getting into the postseason.
And the National League is down, down bad.
Yeah.
Teams are not very good in the National League right now. If you miss these playoffs, talk about a cataclysmic failure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to throw up. I know.
I went too far.
It's so bad. It's so bad right now. Let's change the topic to more positive things. We had a huge come from behind win by Miami, but and they have a huge game 3 coming up, but that is the second most important basketball game that's going to be played this week. We'll explain why coming up next.
John Schaefer and Jim Russell.
San Diego State can't leave the Mountain West if there's no league to jump to, if there's no TV deal to jump to for the Pac-12. So there's all these loose ends that need to be tied up.
I like the confidence saying once the TV deal is pretty much done, we are in 100%. Count us in. We're in a Power 5 conference. No question about it. Only problem is that better happen.
Weekday afternoons at 3. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
Widespread racism and discrimination against Asian American and Pacific Islander communities is a serious and devastating issue that is impacting the lives of millions every day. It's up to all of us to stand up, speak out, and put an end to AAPI hate. Stop AAPI Hate is a national coalition that documents acts of racism, discrimination, and other forms of bigotry targeting Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders across the United States. To report a hate incident or to learn more about what you can do to help, visit stopaapihate.org.
Move over, NBA Finals. The Hardwood and Balls Classic is coming up Wednesday. We discuss next.
South 5 Oceanside Boulevard crash. The middle lanes are blocked. Box truck involved stopping traffic before the 76. South 15 heavy in Temecula, then just past Lilac to Deer Springs. I'm Tori Peck, San Diego traffic.
San Diego Sports now.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. Padres, another head-scratching weekend, losing 2 of 3 to the Cubbies, but they still got a chance to split the series today. One more against the Cubs at home. Then starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners. Padres now 27-32 on the year, 4th place in the National League West. But speaking of the NL West, everyone lost yesterday. Rockies lose to the Royals 2-0, Dodgers to the Yankees 4-0, Giants to the Orioles 8-3, and D-backs lose to the Braves 8-5. NBA Finals, they just got real. Miami Heat wins Game 2 in Denver, 111-108. Series now moves back to Miami for 2 games as the Heat have taken over home court advantage. Game 3 Wednesday at 5:30. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small businesses print big. Right now, get $15 off signs, banners, posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends July 1st. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your sign to try Staples, where your prints are perfect, guaranteed.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760 on a Monday, kicking the week off here with a nice little giveaway. Get ready for a flavor-packed feast that's fast, casual, and always delicious. Just head on over to Big Cheech's Chicken, Waffle, and Sliders. Mouth-watering meals made from quality ingredients and lightning-fast service. Big Cheech's on Carroll Canyon Road. Online at BigCheech'sChicken.com or via Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Big Cheech's Chicken, Waffles, and Sliders, where fast meets flavor. We got a $25 gift card coming up for you later in the show. I had Big Cheech's Chicken on iHeartRadio Access Day. And then they brought in Big Cheech's here to the station on Friday. And then I feel like, I should probably have it today in honor of a giveaway. That's Big Cheech's 3 times in 5 days.
I was also thinking maybe we could do a little something for next level fat guy stuff with Big Cheech's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We got these giveaways all week.
Maybe.
Right.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe somewhere down the line because I was excited for grilled cheese day.
Oh yeah, we are doing
is that grilled cheese?
Yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, we were talking about it last week.
That's right.
I had said it in my mind. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I didn't make, like, I woke up this morning kind of in a haze. I was like, I didn't make grilled cheese. And I was like, oh no, no, it's Monday.
Are we making grilled cheese here in the studio?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if that was if that was the plan.
I mean, buddy, we now have a stovetop cooker.
It's true.
So are we going to do the same thing we did with milkshakes, 1 per hour?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Are we just, making our own whatever kind of grilled cheese we want to come up with?
Whatever you want to stuff in there. Complete surprise. Complete surprise.
I got mine.
You already got yours?
Wow.
Okay.
I had it in college, and to this day, I dream about it still.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you have one that you've made before?
I didn't make it.
Okay.
We for one of my buddy's birthday parties, we splurged and got a grilled cheese truck to come park in our front yard.
That is an awesome idea.
Yeah, we split it between like 15 dudes, so it was like $100 and something a person. But it came and it stayed and it was all paid for like 6 hours just making grilled cheeses while we were in our front yard playing beer darts.
That is the coolest part. How many grilled cheese sandwiches did you have?
I like 15.
Dude,
like over 6 hours, I had so many.
I'd average 2 an hour.
Yeah,
for sure. I'd be up at a dozen by the time the grilled cheese truck left.
You're in college. We were sophomores in college,
Yeah,
so at like the prime of our eating age.
They're like growing boys.
Yeah, we were drinking an absurd amount of beer, sitting in our front yard,
growing boys.
Yeah,
and it was all paid for. We're like, we got to do for 6 hours. We're getting our money's worth.
I bet you that guy went through more cheese than he ever thought was possible. He's like,
Dude, it was a husband and wife. It was a husband and wife.
Yeah.
They've been running the same food truck for like 10 years. That's what they do. They go to birthday parties. It was awesome.
That's an incredible idea.
Like, how come food trucks don't roll down the street like ice cream trucks?
I wish they would.
Oh, I had sushi from a food truck yesterday.
What?
So it was like a block party type thing thrown at my oldest elementary school. And they had the like Kona ice truck, like the shave ice. They had an ice cream truck, and then they had a sushi truck. And dude, I mean, some of the I got to find out. I'm probably going to email the principal and find out the name of the sushi.
There's
guy.
a taco
so
truck
good.
down behind Hazard Center. You know, that area that always floods.
Yeah.
There's a taco truck down there. I think it's called Kiko's. I'm not positive, but their shrimp tacos are spicy. Dude, it'd knock them out of the park.
Do they have like the chipotle mayo? Like
I don't know what it is. I don't ask questions. But they also, while you're waiting,
Don't ask questions.
While you're waiting, they give you a cup of soup. And it's this red soup. I don't know exactly what it is, but you just drink it right there out of
like
the little Dixie
pozole
cup.
or whatever they call it.
I think that is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's so good and it's free. And they just give it to you while you're waiting for your tacos.
It was Western Days up in Valley Center over the weekend, and we stopped by the little whatever carnival thing they have. And there was a food truck there that did chicken and waffles, but the waffle was folded into like a cone, like an ice cream cone. And then it was just filled with chicken nuggets. And then they would drizzle something over the top
like
of
the
it.
maple syrup.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know what I also discovered this week? And speaking of food, is like spicy honey you can buy from the grocery stores now. Yeah, they'll like mix it. It's like hot honey, they call it.
You heard of Mad Honey?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Mad Honey.
So Mad Honey, it's in the Himalayas. They have like these guys who will go up to these bees' nests. And do they know why it's hallucinogenic?
Yeah, they found it's these bees like pretty much exclusively. What do they pollinate? These flowers that do have a hallucinogenic aspect to them. So when they're moving between the flowers, then they go back to their honeycomb, whatever it's called.
Hive.
That's what it is. Like the honey that they produce in those hives becomes hallucinogenic.
Yeah. So you take like a teaspoon of this stuff, you're on Mars. It's they have TikTok is all about Mad Honey all of a sudden.
It's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
Did you see the honeybees? This was a couple years ago.
Should we do Mad Honey on the show?
Probably.
Is that what we need to
should
do?
I don't want to. I'm scared.
There's honeybees out in New York City a couple years ago, and they were freaking out up there because all the honey that was being produced was blood red, and they couldn't figure it out. And it's the end of times. Now it just turns out the Maraschino Cherry Company was throwing out red dye. It was sweet, and the bees were just going nuts.
Like, why bother with flowers? You just got all this maraschino syrup to gobble down. All right, so we have two major basketball games coming up this week. Game 3 of the NBA Finals goes for the first time to Miami. The Heat were able to come from behind. They were trailing by 15 points at one point to the Denver Nuggets in the second quarter. They closed the gap at halftime. And then the third quarter, and especially in the fourth quarter, the Heat just took over this game. So impressive win, no doubt, for Miami. We'll get to some of that in a second. But the most important game being played this week, is the Hardwood and Balls Classic on the Mesa at the Jam Center. Waivers are being signed today.
I forgot about that.
Don't worry about it. I'll crack the whip. We got to get this done. We got to get that back over to JD, the AD over there on campus, JD Wicker, who's been the point person for us to get get all this done.
In fact, Ben, why don't you just print out a stack right now
of waivers?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, we'll sign
I
it.
like JD, the AD. That should be his new Tinder profile.
Tender
Imagine
profile.
like hobbies building stadiums. Like building stadiums with my might and brawn.
Building stadiums and championship caliber teams.
I love it. JD the 80, though, man, he has been an integral part of getting this off the ground, and we owe him a lot. Yeah, so
this is like the most important thing he's ever done as athletic director.
I honestly, I mean, the stadium's big, but this is bigger.
Oh,
the
without a
national
doubt,
championship
without a
run
doubt.
by the basketball team was cool.
It was okay.
But
yeah, I mean, but yeah. Are as many people going to be watching as they will for the Hardwood and Balls Classic? I have no doubt.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
no,
what 1 point? No, Final Four numbers were huge. It was like 4 point something million. I don't know what the national
The
championship
Natty was
got.
like 13.
Yeah, it was
Hey,
massive.
look,
Yeah.
our show alone has been known to pull 4.6 million viewers,
That is true.
right?
That is true.
So,
Especially on TikTok,
that's what I'm saying. That's
which
what I'm
is
saying.
not a network, but it is a social network.
And it's a number we can keep touting over and over again.
Hey, is it possible? Would you be able to play, Ben, our video and then maybe play Jonathan's answer to our video? Because we have an unorthodox coaching style, I would say. Me and Travis, Coach Travis.
Yeah.
We sat down and we talked to each other about how do we get Big Ben Fletcher in shape for this game. And so if you're interested in seeing the video, it's everywhere. It's all over our social media at Big Rich TD Fletch on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. And here's what this sounded like. Just eating a donut.
Out of the drawer.
So there we were, and not our office hatching plans. We will cheat if we need to.
Oh, 100%. Production value off the charts.
Oh,
all
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Griffin with Gas Productions completely outdid himself. I went and check him out. It's Gas Productions _ on Instagram. I checked out a lot of his videos with dirt bikes.
That's
and
cool.
Dude, the guy on the motocross, it's unreal. It's unreal. And so he
His
came over.
equipment he rolled out with was unreal.
Some people's annual salaries that can't compete with the amount of money he spent on these cameras, and he's got them on a open-shirted Coors Light, Tommy Bahama style button down on.
He said
Fletch.
it was the same cameras they used to film Avatar.
Ben's out there doing suicides and stair climbs and pretending to shoot a basketball.
Kung Fu.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's part of concentration.
That's one of the 3 C's, man. He was out there working his ass off. I mean, there were moments where I thought Ben was going to collapse. I really did.
And it was
fine.
It was
Are you
early
sure?
on in the training.
I ate a donut 30 seconds before I started going at a full sprint.
You
Good
started
point.
sweating as we were
I'm
talking
sweating
about
right
running.
now.
That's
Travis.
the point. Yeah, he started sweating when he tied his shoes. I mean, granted, it was on camera and he was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm gonna be fine. You want to hear J Riffs?
I do.
Yeah,
It was pretty
this-
good.
Yeah, here's the answer from the Hardwood and Balls Classic training montage. That I guess it was just a teaser. that
Yeah.
we put out
Oh,
here.
we haven't
on
put
Jim
out-
Fletch.
We haven't put out our big stuff.
Yeah,
Not yet.
So just a teaser, but then J Riff answers with this guy right here.
In the realm of hardwood dreams, a young man named Jonathan embarked on a quest to defy the odds, carving his own path to become the greatest basketball player the world had ever seen. With every dribble, every shot, he defied gravity and shattered limitations. Through perseverance and unwavering belief, he soared above adversity, inspiring us all to never underestimate the power of the dream and the heights we can reach when we dare to chase it.
June 7th, Scam Center. Be there.
I am so impressed. I am so impressed with Jonathan Rifkin.
So good.
Okay, so listen, the gauntlet was laid down. He picked it up and slapped us back in the face with it. He said, I have no problem matching you guys wherever you're at. I will elevate my game to meet you where you are. And so all of a sudden, I feel like we're a little bit on our heels. And credit where credit's due. Jonathan Rifkin, who looks to be in the best shape of his life.
Well, without a doubt.
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
okay.
Hang on.
Right,
Ben, yeah. There's a six pack under there somewhere,
dude. Yeah.
It's just the problem is it's shaped like cures.
I will say this though: if this is a game of say this game goes on like cricket matches, for example, can go 24 hours. They could go 72 hours. Like these players, I mean, sometimes they only break for just meals and sleep. Like, I mean, you can have matches that last and last and last. If that's the case, Ben's got extra padding. Like from a body fat percentage standpoint, Jonathan Rifkin will not be able to hang. He will use up his reserves much earlier than our friend over here.
Here's what I'm saying. See, I feel opposite on that. Ben's gonna have to come out and Mike Tyson him and get him quick out of the gate.
Oh, you see, yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. J-Riff might win. Okay, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna
I
happen.
Hear that out of your mouth.
I can't believe you would just.
I don't think it's gonna happen. He might win. If he wins, he's coming out bloody.
Oh wow.
Okay. You heard that, J-Riff. Sign that waiver. Need you to sign that waiver.
He's coming out bloody.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Real. He's going to come out sweaty, but it won't be from his sweat.
It's going to be soaked.
It's going to be completely drenched.
I don't know why I smell the way I do right now. It's not my body odor.
We only played for 71 seconds
before Ben pulled a hammy and couldn't go on. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you worried that you may suffer an injury in any of this here, Ben Fletcher?
The only possible one, and I don't think it's going to happen, the only possible thing that could go wrong is my knee. But even if it does, I'll play through it.
Are you going to wear a brace?
Good man. I'll bring athletic tape.
Yeah.
I remember one time I finished the game.
All over his
body. Tore my MCL completely, and they're able to tape together an MCL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And I watched them do it, so I'll be able to help you out.
Just bring some duct tape. I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's all we
need.
Okay,
all right. We can do that.
Duct tape.
I'm worried about him complaining about his wrist. My wrist. I cuddled too hard last night.
He did actually say that at one point. That's a real fact. Jonathan Rifkin
he made.
Showed up on the IL one day for the Darren Smith show with a wrist brace on. And when asked, he goes, I don't know. Jenna slept on my arm funny last night. I think she tweaked. My
too much cuddling.
It was either my radii or my ulna.
Is there something softer on this planet? And I honestly mean this. Is there anything in this world that's softer than getting injured by cuddling?
Dude, I will say this. After passing 35, you can get injured sleeping pretty easily, as it turns out.
And here's the problem. I'll wake up from a sleep injury, and it takes me weeks to recover. Dude, I mean, weeks.
I've sprained ankles that have recovered from faster than neck tweaks while turning over on a pillow.
Oh, without a doubt. You wake up and you have to do the full body turn. Your neck doesn't turn one direction.
Did somebody shout at me over in this direction? Oh, it's coming from this way. Hello.
Exactly correct.
Okay, yeah. So look, we covered the most important basketball game this week. How about the second most important basketball game? We haven't even talked about the finals. Let's get to it coming up next. Miami levels the series. It heads back to Miami on Wednesday. We'll get to that next. How do you stop Goliath? You sling a rock in his eye. We'll get to that next. Busy day over here. Going to be a busy week. We have a lot to do over the next 2 days to get ready for the Hardwood and Balls Classic, and I feel like the Miami Heat are under the same pressure as us. I mean, maybe less so, but similar.
Similar. Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I did not think they were gonna win game 2. I thought maybe they could get game 3, but game 2 was impressive, man.
Yeah,
they were down. They fought back. Not only down by 15 at one point, came back and then were leading by 12, I believe. I mean, that's a hell of a swing.
Yeah, I teased this conversation by saying, how do you beat Goliath? You sling a rock in his eye. And the truth is, that's not what happened. They let Goliath just go on a rampage. I mean, Nikola Jokic had 41 points.
Yeah, but what I love about the Heat is they don't think they're David in this David versus Goliath.
No,
thing.
they don't.
They don't think that this is an upset. They don't think anything. Like, you hear Shaq. Oh, yeah, you heard it. You emailed it to me this morning. Shaq with
Gabe Vincent.
That's exactly. Yeah, he asked him post game. We can just play it. It's so good.
Yeah. This is perfect. So yeah, Shaq post game with Gabe Vincent, just asking about what this Heat team thinks of themselves.
Are you guys a little upset that you're not getting the respect that you deserve?
I speak for my whole team when I say we don't give a damn. We just want to get 4 wins. We don't give a damn about none of the other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly stated.
Like, that's how the Heat think about the Heat.
Yeah,
which I love.
And Jimmy Butler, again, wasn't pedestrian. He had a 21-point night. I thought he was going to go off kind of the way Jokic did in this game. But they shared the ball well. Bam got his too. I think him and Jimmy both had 21. Gabe Vincent, who you just heard from, had 23. I mean, this was a true team effort to get this game.
Do you see Bam Adebayo flipping everybody off after the game?
Oh, I didn't. That's amazing.
It's like, it wasn't obvious. It was very subdued, but he's walking off the court just kind of like this.
Yeah, guys hate Denver. Guys hate Utah. Guys hate Denver. Denver is a tough place to play, just from a gamesmanship standpoint because of the altitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have an effect on a series, and it's certainly an advantage for Denver. But that home floor in Miami after a long wait, after the Wade, LeBron, Bosch years, is going to be lively.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what's going down in New York today?
What?
What's
Buffalo Bills breaking ground for their new stadium.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, how about that?
Is it going to be right next to the old one, or is it a different town,
I think
different
it's
area?
in a different area.
Oh, wow.
Do we know if Haley Steinfeld will be there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, good.
Would hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe we really hope so.
Maybe she could throw out the first pitch.
Is that she's dating Josh Allen now?
That's the rumor mill.
They're holding hands in public. They're, you know.
Okay. All right.
Are you Googling?
Just gonna do a quick
Josh
Google.
Allen
and
Haley.
Wow, that came up quick. Okay.
Haley.
Go to images. And yes,
It's going to be named Highmark Stadium.
Groundbreaking would be good.
I honestly thought you were going to tell us the name, like their couple name, like Jennifer. Like it's gonna be named.
It's opening in 2026. It's going to cost 1.54 billion starting, and then it's going to be in Orchard Park, New York. So that is the same area.
Same place.
Yeah.
Same place. Yeah. Orchard Park is where the old stadium is. A lot of stadiums. I mean, they'll either demolish the old one and put up a new one, like they did at Mission Valley, and play away from home for a little bit, or they'll finish out their time playing where they're at, and then there's a new stadium being erected in the same parking lot. Which
shovels in the dirt this morning. It already happened.
I would assume is the case. Yeah, that's crazy.
Good for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what happens with ownership groups is as soon as your team turns a corner and they look like they're going to be good for a while, which newsflash, the Bills are. The AFC East, they've pretty much had their reign since the Patriots dynasty has fizzled out after Tom Brady left. I mean, that's what happens. You got a lot of, first of all, Buffalo's fan base is awesome. And then you have a lot of interest in Josh Allen, and you have a franchise quarterback like that. I mean, the only place you go is up. It's amazing. Okay, coming up next, guys, we got to get to Padres problems, Padres solutions. Yeah. We're gonna list the things that are bugging us the most, but we're gonna improve this. We're gonna find the solutions to these issues. Also, we got to do this. That's Bunkman for the Big Cheeches Chicken and Waffles and Sliders. We got some complimentary gift cards from Big Cheeches. You'll get those coming up next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Hour 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Hamul Casino. Padres with another head-scratching weekend, losing 2 of 3 to the Cubs, but they still have a chance to split the series today, one more against the Cubs at home. Starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners at Petco Park. Padres now 27-32 on the year, 4th place in the NL West. In the NL West yesterday, Rockies lose to the Royals 2-0, Dodgers lose to the Yankees 4-0, Giants lose to the Orioles 8-3, and the D-backs lose to the Braves 8-5. NBA Finals, they just got real. Miami Heat winning game 2 in Denver, 111-108. The series now moves back to Miami for 2 as the Heat have taken over home court advantage. Game 3 going to be Wednesday at 5:30. Kickoff summer at Hamul Casino's annual block party on Saturday, June 17th. Live music, DJs, free food, $20 in free play, and lots of fun. See HamulCasinoSD.com for complete details. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah, man. We've got a Monday on our hands, and happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. The reason why it feels like such a Monday is because the Padres just keep padreing.
How about this text from the 386 earlier this morning? The good news is that we as Padre fans are pre-destroyed at birth.
We've all been inoculated to this. We've been through it before. We've seen all the wars. We have the 1,000-yard stare. Like we honestly, we should have seen this coming. I don't know why any of us got our hopes up. There's no such thing as hope in San Diego when it comes to sports. You know that. Gosh, it's just tough when you do get your hopes up and you do have expectations all of a sudden, and you are brought down to planet Earth.
Yes. Also on the text line, people asking when the doors open for the Hardwood and Balls Classic. I do believe you're going to have to stream this one.
Yeah. This is a stream only. We're actually going to SDSU's practice facility for the basketball team, the Jam Center. We do not have the ability to invite listeners to be our audience,
unfortunately.
This year,
maybe
in the future, who knows?
Yeah. We will have events.
Speaking of, I did call Rich over the weekend because I thought we need to have cheerleaders.
Yeah.
That's
something.
I don't know if that can happen.
Maybe we should text JD the AD immediately. Hang on.
Is it too early?
No, it's never too early. He's always awake. Wheeling and dealing as the greatest athletic director who's ever lived. Hang on.
So maybe text JD.
BENJA. I don't have a very cheerable name.
I was like, what are we spelling right now? Benjamin?
That was the plan.
Spell it out. No one's ever called you Benjamin.
That's my name.
But who? Fletch. People say Fletch. Hashtag Team Fletch is trending worldwide on Twitter. Not anything Benjamin.
That's true.
And then you want them to spell Benjamin?
No, I don't want them to do that.
That's a lot of letters. I thought you wanted them to chant Fletcher.
No, you're doing it wrong. It's Fletcher.
How did they come up with that chant?
I don't know.
This is the reason why people have a hard time believing you.
Did they all get together and practice
We
beforehand?
had a great spirit squad. It was awesome.
So you're telling me that outside of game time, they sat around talking, going, look, we got to come up with some chants. Ben Fletcher is absolutely magnificent out there on the court.
Bingo.
So what can
I wasn't there. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but
so they were like, how about this one? Fletcher. And they're like, no. How about this? Fletcher.
You were really good that time.
Winner. That's a winner.
All right.
Okay.
So here's the text to JD, the AD over at San Diego State. Hey, JD, good morning. Travis was wondering if he should alert the cheerleading squad over at SDSU.
Are they allowed to come? Do they need waivers?
Are they? Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to come? Do they need waivers? Do they
I don't
need
know.
Wait, oh, he's already texting us.
Wow.
Hang on.
Wait.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said no. There's no way you're getting the cheerleading squad involved.
All right.
What happened to the Monster Girls?
No. The Monster Girl. They have a cheerleading squad at San Diego State.
Yes. Also, the Monster Girls told me no.
I thought I was gonna get like the big firework entrance, you know.
Listen, I'm
yeah.
working on so many things, and
Hang
it's
on.
it's
Ben
incredible.
Is wondering about pyrotechnics. Is wondering about.
It's incredible how many things get shut down quickly here.
Okay. All right. Both of those texts are
good.
sent.
Good.
And I know he already has his phone in his hand, so we'll hear from JD
was
soon.
It 3 dots coming across there?
Oh, yeah. Just moments ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That was the 3 dots. Were like, God.
Yeah. Stop.
Yeah.
It turns out I have to cancel.
I already gave you the gym.
He's
Stop asking me questions.
He's starting to type and stopping because it's like, you guys are idiots. No, that's too harsh.
Yeah, too harsh.
Leave me alone. It's too early. Backspace.
You know what? Block.
I'm working on getting us into the Pac-12.
All of a sudden, like notifications are silenced. Like I see the little
moon,
the little moon next to him. Like, I guess we went back to bed.
Did you tell him about our nickname for him? It's a great nickname.
JD the 80.
So good.
Oh yeah. If I'm him, I start getting my licenses and passports. Every
100%.
identification, like just legally change your name to JD the 80.
The door to his office, in my mind, is like an old detective's door where it's that foggy glass.
Yes,
basically. And then hand painted is JD the AD on the door.
Cool. By the way, could we get one of those doors for our office?
That's a good idea.
And then also we've been talking about it. We need to just steal another desk from here and do cop desks.
Yeah, definitely.
Where we're facing each other. And then say things like, do you hear about Murtaugh?
Do you think anyone would care if we blew out that wall in between the other office?
2 days away from retirement. We lost him.
Yeah. Dude, we should knock down that wall. Or at very least make
Wait, and steal another office from Kid J?
He's a larger. Yeah,
that's
you know
right.
what?
Yeah.
What if we could knock out the wall and we'll just put up some partitions?
Dude, I saw Kid J again. Every time I see him, and this time I talk to him, I'm like, it's always like, you're talking to him and you're just like, yeah, man, everything's with you. And then he walks away. I'm just like, the subtext of every conversation is, you guys stole my office. You do know that, right? Like, I see it in his eyes.
Right.
It's uncomfortable.
I wish you could have seen him standing there just staring at not our office.
I was so glad I hid that
when
day.
I walked in behind him.
I have no shame.
And he turns around and says, what happened?
We didn't know we weren't allowed to do that, Kid J.
Yeah, where's my computer? Here's some of it right here. I think there's some over here too. Some of this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we started talking about the Padres.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's easy to digress. Okay.
It's tough to talk about the Padres, unfortunately, because when you do, you get into their problems, which we're going to name a couple. We each came up with our own problem to discuss with this team, and then we're going to come up with Padres solutions. And I don't know if they're good solutions, but they're the best we got. They're the best we got.
Yeah.
My problem, I should say, my chief complaint with the Padres is the offense is offensive. This has been a struggle. Watch, I love this music. The Padres are spending more money than virtually all of baseball on this lineup, and their OPS as a team is 694. That's good for 8th to the bottom in Major League Baseball. They're striking out at a heroic pace. They don't hit homers, or actually, I will say this about the Padres: it's not. Actually, now that I'm looking at it,
they don't hit home runs with people on base.
Yeah, they're middle of the pack. But you look at their numbers; they shouldn't be in the middle of the pack. Ask me to click on a category, average. Let's look at batting average.
Near the bottom.
Yeah, let's just go to the bottom here. Yeah, second and last. The Oakland Athletics have a 217 team-wide batting average. The Padres have a 221.
Oakland gets like 2,500 fans. Petco's sold out pretty much every game.
Oakland is spending, I'm pretty sure, what it costs to replace your washing machine on their roster compared to what the Padres are spending.
Right. This is very true.
It's absolutely sickening. The offense has been so pitiful this season, especially compared to our expectations. Like all of these hitters, we've talked about it at length. I don't want to go into all of the various descriptions here, but it's not good enough. And the numbers back it up. The feel of these games back it up. Like as soon as most teams have a lead, it doesn't matter when, early, late, it just feels insurmountable with this offense. No fight. No fight.
And that's my chief problem here. There's no fight in this dog. They get behind, and then there's no battle back there. But that goes to your offense's offensive look there. Look, you gotta do something with this team that has so much firepower, and it just doesn't happen. In fact, the Padres, when I say there's no fight in this dog, there's been a number of games where they've had a 1-run lead. It's 1-0, and then they give it up in the 9th and take a loss. It is hard to watch. I mean, no fight in the dog is my chief complaint here. Because look, play a little small ball. You don't have to go out and hit home runs constantly. Just get some people on base and then move them around.
Mine's very simple, and it's literally just one word. It's leadership. And the issue I have, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, you played football with two of the greatest leaders to ever play in the NFL, and Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers. Was there ever a single question when you walked into the locker room who was the leader of the football team?
No, with those two guys, it was very clear. They were at the tippy top of the mountain. They were the apex. And you have a great leader where when they speak, everybody stops and listens. It was them. It was Rivers. It was Brady.
They don't necessarily have to be the loudest, the funniest, the most social person in the room, but as soon as you walk in who that guy is. I have zero clue who it is on the Padres.
Yeah, It's a big problem. How about Padres solutions?
Yeah. This is not to point out the problem.
Yeah, we don't have to McLaughlin this thing.
Yeah.
Be better.
Hang on. Let's be a little more specific.
Score more runs.
Actually, I need you to replay the Soto sound. So if you missed this earlier in the show, we played this little clip from Kevin Acee interviewing Juan Soto post-game in the clubhouse. Marty Caswell caught it all on video, and she posted it to her Twitter. So we pulled the clip here, and we'll play it for you. This is Juan Soto answering questions about the Padres' recent problems.
And that's been the thing. Great game and then a not so good one. Great game and not so good one offensively. Obviously, you guys can do it, but you're not doing it on a regular basis. Any ideas why?
I don't know. I don't think I'm the guy who respond to that question. Okay. I think we have those guys down there. They know better than me. I don't know. I really don't know what is going on. We have such a great team, but I don't know. It is. I just don't know what is the answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean,
who the hell are the guys down there? Who are they?
Yeah,
I want to know. I want names.
Maybe they have a basement at Petco Park.
There's just like 30 people in the basement no one ever talks about. They're just on old typewriters.
Well, here's the
chain smoking coming up with it. Just like,
no, like, is it coaches? Is it analytics
That's
guys? Is it other players? Like, we need to know who he's talking about. The other guys. Who are they?
I really honestly think he was referring to, in my mind, he's referring to the guys who are going to be here. I mean, when you talk like that, when you say like the other guys, like he means this team. Go talk to this team. I'm not here for very much longer. Or like, why are you asking me these questions?
Yeah.
I'm here on basically on loan from the Nationals until my initial situation runs out here, so I could be a free agent and go play for somebody else. Like that's what that felt like to me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's what it felt
like to me.
It's
like these other guys are all here for the next 10 years with contracts that are signed and they're locked in.
The other superstars that you're not naming right now because you're talking to me.
Yep.
There's other superstars on this team. I'm out here, hey, let's pull numbers and take a peek because it looks like Soto's numbers aren't as bad as some of the other guys who are supposed to be hitting.
Better team chemistry. That's the solution. Now, how you get there?
I mean, it doesn't just pop out of thin air.
Yeah.
Like it takes work.
I need Bob Melvin to be the guy to rally the troops right now. Like I don't know what they're paying Bob. I have no idea what his salary is. I don't really care. But whatever it is, this is how you earn that salary. These are the intangible things that a manager is supposed to be able to bring to the Padres, to any baseball team to make the team better. Because I mean, again, and this is what he signed up for. He knew the job before he took it. AJ Preller runs the show. Him and his team of analytics dudes. I mean, yeah, they'll call it groupthink, but at the end of the day, who has final word on how the bullpen is used, on who the lineup is going to look like? I mean, that's AJ Preller. So what Bob Melvin has to do is somehow encourage this team to care for each other. I mean, that's what it comes. I just don't see a lot of guys like, I don't know. I mean, just from an outsider's opinion, because obviously we're not down there in the dugout every day, but we've heard a lot of reporters now who are in that dugout, or I should say in that clubhouse. It just doesn't seem like it's a team. It seems like it's a collection of stars who are a little bit selfish, who are caring about numero uno a little too much. And so my solution is better team chemistry. And I'm going to put that on Bob Melvin. But I mean, it's incumbent on the leadership of this team, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, guys who have been established here. Bogarts just got here. Can't look to the guy who just got the huge contract, who literally just landed in San Diego to do it. It's got to be one of those two other superstars. And it's certainly not going to be Juan Soto, because he's talking like he's a rental right now.
Bob Melvin signed a 3-year, $11.5 million contract with the Padres. That, according to USA Today.
Go earn it, Bobby.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And I'm kind of in the same vein here. Find a leader. However, I think that leader should be Manny Machado. I think he's the guy who has the most recent contract. He's the guy who people were begging that this contract went down. Go out there and prove why the fans wanted you here. Go out there and prove why we love you so much. We know you can play. And I don't care if you have a broken hand. I don't care if you're not hitting. Still be the leader. Go out there and lead the team. Rally the troops. Get behind one another. And then I think that helps with the team chemistry. Go ahead and help bond it. But come on, Manny, you are a leader. Go be that guy. That's it. Let's just go be the guy.
Well, I think Manny and Musgrove are the only two who have the cachet, the experience built up to be able to be that. Like Fernando Tatis Jr. cannot go be the leader. He's young. He's a kid. Manny Machado has damn near more than a decade of high success in this game. He should be the one who is out there yelling at Tatis when he does something stupid, saying it's not about you.
Well, and I think Tatis is still on the apology tour.
For sure.
So I think he's got at least a year of that.
Boy, those are two really good points, right? Like that's the reality of this situation. It has to be a Musgrove or a Machado because of the public relations hit that Fernando took, and also the hit to the clubhouse. I mean, who really wants to take advice from the guy who people are still kind of getting over what he did to the team last year, right?
Well, I guarantee you there's people in that clubhouse who think that if Tatis was on that team, they win a World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably resentment towards Fernando Tatis Jr. for what happened last year from some of those guys, his teammates, right? So it can't be him. I mean, and unfortunately it can't be him because it could be. I mean, he's
still probably like the emotional leader, like people that guys look to for energy.
He's
for
the
fun.
lightning rod.
Yeah, but that's what he is.
Yeah, but as a leader, you can look at Tatis and still have him be the lightning rod. You can still have him be the spark of the team, but use your pieces there.
Well, again, back to the Patriots. Was Rob Ninkovich not the guy to like really get people going? Like Brady might have been the leader, but he had his guards, a king has his soldiers, right?
Yeah.
So if Brady's the leader, he had the guys to do the other little jobs.
Yeah. I mean, there were guys who were spark plugs. Like, at the time that I was playing, Wes Welker was a star in that roster. He wasn't looked to as like a main leader of the team, but he was like a fiery competitor. You know what I mean? Like he was a guy who people looked at and went, whoa, Wes is getting that. Gronkowski had a role like that too. Would I say like he was ultimately the best leader on that team? No, but Gronk had cachet, man. Like when he would speak up, people listen. But I mean, again, you're looking at guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. You can be a fire starter a little bit. You could get momentum going, but you need that one guy. You need that one guy that everybody turns to. It can be a coach, but it really needs to be a player. So yeah, the crazy thing is all we're talking about is emotions. Like the three of us, the solutions we came up with. I said team chemistry. You said leadership. You said it has to be one of two. It has to be Musgrove or Machado. Like has to step up and be the guys. Like it's all about it's all about the ether. It has nothing to do with gameplay, really. Like, this team just has to believe, and they don't. I feel like they need Ted Lasso in this damn locker room, in this clubhouse.
Without a doubt, get a Ted
You started
Lasso.
the new season yet?
No, I haven't watched any Ted Lasso. I got to binge this show.
Like, never any of the.
Not a single episode. Not a single episode.
You got a hell of a 3 days in front of you, my friend.
No, I'm not doing it right now. I can't. We got the Hardwood and Balls Classic.
You got to get past
We're
that.
so busy.
30-minute episodes until this most recent season.
Right.
They're a lot longer now.
Yeah, they're like hour long.
I got to lock it in.
It
for
will
the
take.
Hardwood
You
and
think
Balls
this
Classic.
Padres season is an emotional roller coaster? Ted Lasso will have you depressed, crying tears of joy, like all the things.
You know what the Padres' record is this season in one-run games?
It's terrible.
3-12.
Good.
See,
Lord.
and that's the difference. Last
Yeah.
year they were winning those games.
Yeah. Extra inning games. You know what their record is?
They've won 2 of them.
I'm looking at 0-5 right now. Are you sure they've won 2 of them?
I'm not. That was a guess.
No. Oh yeah, no. 0-5.
0-5 on the 2023
On
season.
2023 season in extra inning games. If they continued on the exact same track they're on right now, they would finish the season 74-88.
Okie
Puke.
dokie.
Yeah.
Puke, puke.
All right, let's turn these frowns upside down. Let's do a giveaway. Get ready for flavored packed feasts that are fast, casual, and always delicious. Head over to Big Cheech's Chicken Waffles and Sliders, mouthwatering meals made from high-quality ingredients, lightning fast service. You got Big Cheech's on Carroll Canyon Road, online at BigCheech'sChicken.com or via Uber Eats, Grubhub, or DoorDash. Big Cheech's Chicken Waffles and Sliders, where fast meets flavors, and we've got a $25 gift card for you. Coming up on the other side of this break, we need 2 listener contestants to be on hold. Wait on the line for your opportunity to win those gift cards. Okay, so 844-570-1360. That's 844-570-1360. That's Bunkman coming up next.
We got a Big Cheech's Chicken Waffles and Sliders gift card coming up here with That's Bunkman next.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. Padres with another head-scratching weekend. Kind of disappointing. They lose 2 of 3 to the Cubs. They still have a chance to split the series today. 1 more against the Cubs at home. Then starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners. Padres now 27-32 on the year, 4th place in the NL West. Speaking of the NL West, Rockies lose to the Royals yesterday 2-0. Dodgers to the Yankees 4-0. Giants lose to the Orioles 8-3. D-backs lose to the Braves 8-5. So I guess the NL West is just a division of losers. All of them. NBA Finals just got interesting. The Miami Heat win Game 2 in Denver, 111-108. The series now moves back to Miami for 2 games as the Heat have taken over home court advantage. Game 3 Wednesday at 5:30. Puck drop in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals going to be at 5 o'clock tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights holding a 1-0 series lead. During Staples Small Business Deal Days, you save 50% when you buy any combination of 5 or more boxes, mailers, and shipping tubes. Offer ends July 1st. Exclusions do apply. Not valid in Concord, New Hampshire location. Prices may vary. Keep your business running right and save at Staples.
Big Rich, CD, and Fletch here on a Monday, a happy Monday. We've got a lot of things going on here. We were just talking about Padre problems and solutions, saying we need a leader. The 619 on the text line saying, look, team leaders emerge. They're not appointed. You can't take someone who hasn't been a leader and make them one. So if Machado hasn't been one, probably won't ever be. He might not be wrong there, but maybe if you asked him, gave him the opportunity and said, look, man, we need you, maybe we could see someone step up here.
But Manny's time in Baltimore, he was not a leader. He was a kid, and he was a dumb kid at that.
Right,
Like, he made a lot of mistakes. When he went to LA, something changed. It wasn't a good experience for him in a Dodgers uniform, but it led him to the realization that the next place he goes, he wants to call home. Next place he went was San Diego. He has been a leader since he's been here. Has he been a good one? I'd say it stretches. He's been a great one.
Yeah.
But times like this year, I'm like, when the Padres are looking to someone, it needs to be him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I buy that he's like the clubhouse leader. I mean, if he was, then I don't know if there would be these sort of issues. Like,
right. That's true.
I don't think they have a leader.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, condemn Manny Machado if you want, or AJ Preller for maybe not empowering a manager who would in turn empower one of his ball players
But
to
even
become
if
the
Manny
manager
isn't,
or
I think
the leader.
That's what Peter Seidler wants. That's what AJ Preller wants. They gave him that contract to be the leader.
Well, also
then that's a flaw, and that's a mischaracterization if that's what they did, because that's what they paid him for.
Also on the text line,
part of it. I mean, the truth is, like, you it's like kind of like you're paying for the bat. I mean, don't get me wrong, you give a contract like that out, you're hoping he's a leader too, but I mean, at some point you got to have a manager who's empowered, and I just don't think that they have one. I mean, because what is I'll tell you how often I was like in touch with the general manager once I signed with the team. Rarely. And that's everybody's experience. You just don't see front office people all that much.
Yeah, but Manny and Peter are tight.
Yeah. Peter, an owner is different though. I'm talking about like a GM. And also an owner is a different relationship than a manager or a coach. Like, you work with coaches. Like, you're on the field level with them. They're supposed to be in the fight with you. Like, the owners and front office people, they're above you somewhere. It's not a daily thing where you're interacting with them, so I don't know, man. Somebody along the way has made it so that this is a rudderless ship. And again, if you're going to place blame anywhere, it has to be at AJ Preller's feet.
Yeah.
I mean, who else do you turn to?
619 also says Padres need to think outside the box. Roll out the ST chicken. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But speaking of chicken, Big Cheeches.
Yeah, that's what we're playing for today. It's a big deal.
Big Cheeches chicken waffles and sliders, a gift card for whoever wins. That's Bunkman. And looking at our contestants here, great Scott. We got two Scotts on the line right now.
Yeah, we got to go with Scott number 1.
Okay.
Scott number 2, I'm sure he's going to be talking to us when we say, "Hey, Scott." But if you don't hear us respond to you, you get why. Hey, Scott, how's it going this morning?
It's going great.
Okay.
This is Scott number 1, by the way.
That's Scott number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, we hope that you're number 1 here. We have a couple of true-false questions to ask you on That's Bunkman, personal stories about us. You have to determine whether we're telling you the truth or whether it's Bunkman. Best out of 5 wins. You think you're ready to play?
I think I am.
Okay. All right. This guy does sound quietly confident.
Very confident.
Can
Very
you
confident.
actually put on a 13 jersey and be the leader the Padres are looking for, Scott? I like you. Cool cucumber.
Yeah, right.
I think Tatis could step up.
I hope he does.
All right, yeah.
Goodness gracious, I hope he can.
He's
We
young,
need
but he's got the
somebody.
enthusiasm. He pumps everyone up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You want to lead us off here, Richard?
All right, yeah. On the on the topic of baseball, Scott, my question's baseball related. The first time I ever swung a bat in my life, I crushed a home run. Is that true, or is it Bunkman?
I think that's true.
That is wrong.
Not
oh
true.
my
Not
goodness.
true. Not
Completely false. I was a terrible little leaguer. Absolutely hated it. The game moved so slowly for me. The first time I swung a bat, I actually flung it down the third baseline, almost killed a coach. True story. It's one of those little metal it was making the almost killed a coach.
That's fantastic. Well, it's fine, Scott. It's fine. You're down 1. You got 4 more questions here. You got to get 3 of them correct. Here is mine from Travis. I hung out and had dinner with Garth Brooks after he released his album Sevens in 1997. Is that true, or is that Bunkman?
That sounds true, too.
Nailed it. You nailed it. Yeah.
Wait a second.
I'm going to need a story on this one.
Yeah, you had dinner with Garth Brooks?
Okay, so he did an album release down in Los Angeles. I was working at a country station. We had a party bus that went down there.
Mm-hmm.
We cruised down as he was doing the album release video or show. It was going to be on NBC like 2 days later. During a intermission, I walked over to the food table. Garth Brooks is there. Have a seat, man. and I sat at Garth Brooks' table and we chatted and ate dinner together. It was good times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take anything away from it, but you did kind of make it seem like Garth invited you out to a lunch somewhere.
That's basically the same.
Not like the
Close.
food service area.
I said I had dinner with him. I had dinner with him.
It's very cool. I don't want to take anything away from that.
You know what? Okay, listen.
That would
Also,
top my list of
so-
coolest people I've had lunch with.
So,
So,
about,
congrats.
I would say it was about 9 months after that event, I saw Garth Brooks again, and he remembered who I was. So, we're basically friends.
That's nice.
You know,
Anyway,
wait,
Scott.
hang on a second. Did he really honestly remember who you were? Or did he just give you the, hey, man, no, I remember. And you were
He
like,
called
San
me,
Diego.
he called me champ. He called me chief.
He did he call you boss?
Yeah, that's what he says
call
when
you
he
boss,
doesn't
man?
remember that your name is Travis.
No. There's no way. There's
Did
no
he
way.
say, yeah, man, I remember. And you're like, San Diego. He goes, San Diego. That's
I
right.
would never forget that neck.
That giant bespectacled neck. Look at him with all that stubble.
How do shirts fit on you?
Open collar, I see. Good choice. Otherwise, you'd be strangled.
All right, Scott, here's your next one. It's tied 1-1 right now. Scott's got 1 point. This is for me, Scott. While on a family trip to Mexico, I was 10 years old, and I accidentally got drunk on a tequila glass that my father left out.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to say that's true because that happened to me with my daughter. So
It's not true. That was the very first time I ever tasted tequila, though. My dad let me dip my pinky into his Jose Cuervo.
Oh my
How'd you feel about that?
I hated it. It was disgusting.
Yeah, you know what?
Love it now.
You know what we cracked open this weekend?
Well, yeah.
Bacarona.
Oh, yeah.
So did I.
No.
Did you?
Bacanora.
Bacanora. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Bacanora.
Which is not made in Jalisco like tequila. It's made in Sonora. Yeah, we learned
Bacanora.
about that. Okay, an agave spirit, which you need to get your hands on. Kalinga. Go to Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego. But enough of that, Scott. You're in a 1-2 hole right now. Every time. Every damn time. And so I'm going to ask you the next question. You need to determine whether it's true or
Phone
if
line's
it's
lighting up here.
bunk man. Yeah, Scott, not a lot of people have any faith in you, but we have faith in you, Scott. Here we go. Okay. During the course of my playing career in football, I have played with multiple murderers. Is that true or is that bunk man?
that's true.
It is in fact true. It is in fact true.
Took such a turn.
Yeah. Okay.
You read it and I gave thumbs up like, yeah, I think that happened.
The game is tied 2-2 right now.
I mean, I could name one of them, but
yeah, go for it.
Aaron Hernandez.
Is one.
Okay.
The other one was in college, a guy that you guys wouldn't know. His name's Levon Chisley, serving life in State College, Pennsylvania. Yeah. He was a defensive end who stabbed a guy 90-something times. Yeah. Yeah.
This makes me question Belichick's.
Well, one of them was Paterno.
Yeah, one of them was Paterno. One of them was Belichick. Both of them really, I'm going to say it. I mean, they were nice to me. I didn't get stabbed or shot.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, 2-2. You got to get the next one right. All right.
Yeah.
Palate cleanser after
agreeing with that?
I don't want to say it, but I have to. It's sudden death.
It's
sorry. I'm sorry.
Here we go, Scott. Here we go. Travis, myself, tied for 41st place in the 2019 Major League Fishing Championship out in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I won myself $3,700, just over $3,700 in the process. Is that true, or is that bunk man?
That's bunk man.
Wow!
Oh, I thought there was no chance he was getting that one.
Not ready at all.
First of all, Travis, you sold that hard. I would have said true all the way. Scott, what was it about the story that felt you were being misled? That was incredible.
I'm still upset I won the first one. I pitched you on a T-ball hitting a home run.
I know. I've only hit one home run in my life. True story. Yeah.
Really? And it was when you married Annie.
God bless her.
Attaboy, Trav.
That was a ground rule double.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, she's a homer. No question about Grand
walk.
Slam. That was I tattooed that one. No, it was, we were goofing around. We went to my buddy's old high school field. I had never played baseball at a competitive level since second grade. And it felt like the natural. Dude, there is nothing better than the feeling of when you hit a baseball out of a park.
Like, especially on like a real park.
Oh,
My high
yeah.
school baseball field, I never hit one in a game, but I hit one in batting practice one time.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest feeling ever. I had to run so much afterwards because I just stayed and watched it. My coach was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "Did you see what I just did?"
I wish I was filming it. I mean, like, honestly, I've done some cool things in my life. That might be my favorite thing ever.
Until you hit a hole in one.
Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I've never hit a hole in one either. Scott, you did congratulations.
Only got a mustache. Yeah, man.
You're a winner today, buddy.
That's right. Get ready for a flavor pack feast that's fast, casual, and always delicious because you just won yourself a gift card to Big Cheech's Chicken, Waffle, and Sliders. Mouth-watering meals made from quality ingredients and lightning fast service. Big Cheech's over on Carroll Canyon Road. And you can also go on online, bigcheecheschicken.com, or via Uber Eats, Grubhub, or DoorDash. Any way you want to spend that gift card, buddy. Enjoy some Big Cheech's. Scott, hang on the line, and Ben's going to get your info.
Yeah. And speaking of food, we had a record-breaking athletic performance that was performed right here in San Diego.
Yeah, we missed it. We should have been there live.
What were we doing? What were we thinking? We'll cover it coming up next. Welcome back to this ridiculous show today.
Hey,
this has been very serious.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We are hours away from the Hardwood and Balls Classic.
You brought up murder.
I did.
Yeah.
This is a serious show.
I did. Yeah, it's true. I did. I played with two murderers, two known convicted murderers.
That's a good one for That's Bunk Man.
Yeah, I mean that one is hard for me to believe because when you know, I guess sociopaths of that level personally, like I mean,
did you watch the documentary, the Aaron Hernandez one they did on Netflix?
Yeah, it was disturbing.
Right.
It was very bizarre to hear all that was going on while I mean, honestly, like we were lunch table buddies or got to chat in the training room about, his life. And yeah, I mean, it's just weird because he was a completely different person. I mean, it was like I told you, I wasn't lying. He was like a nice guy. Like he was regarded as kind of like a charming, nice guy. And then he just murdered people.
Yeah, well, look at Snoop Dogg. I mean, he went on trial for murder. It was a hung jury, and he didn't go to jail.
And now he's doing voiceover for Jonathan Rifkin.
He is doing voiceover for J-Riff.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then Levon Chisley, another guy who you would never assume would stab someone 90 plus times. But definitely did.
Our guy Gus left a comment here. It says, "Talk about killing the game."
Nice.
Oh,
wow. He certainly
Nicely
did.
done.
That is a pun.
Nicely done. 913 asking if I have Garth's number like Ben has so many numbers.
Charles
Barkley, Joe Montana.
Do you have Garth's number?
No, I do not. I did not.
You and GB didn't exchange info?
No. In fact, in 97, I didn't even have a cell phone.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah. Solid point.
97, I wasn't even walking.
Point taken.
Wow.
Yeah. Ben's a youngster.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. So a gentleman named James Webb, who they did not name the telescope after, I promise you.
You sure?
This is not the astrophysicist. This is the competitive eater. Was aboard the USS Midway here in San Diego over the weekend, or I should say last week, celebrating National Donut Day.
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah. And crushed 59 and a half donuts in 8 minutes, which is a new world record, beating the past world record by almost 5 donuts.
So he gets to 59.
What is going on?
59 and a half. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think he just ran out of time.
Yeah,
You can't just get to 60.
Well, I think he hit the time limit.
Yeah, like the clock goes off when it goes off. Like you can't help it. I mean, the fact that you're even like, dude, you stopped at a half.
Well, I mean, you could have got the whole number. Like it would have been just so much better if he got to 60.
Well, I'm assuming that he got to 59. He probably looked at the clock and went, "Oh, there's only 4 seconds." He didn't lay off the throttle.
No.
He started going for the next one.
I think this guy plays through the whistle. I imagine he ate the 60th donut, but they could only count half of it.
Realistically, everyone take a deep look at themselves.
Okay.
How many donuts could you put down? And what was the time limit? 8?
8 minutes.
How many donuts could you put down in 8 minutes? And are we talking just normal glazed, like regular donuts?
I never saw a photo of the donuts, but yeah, I would assume so.
All right. How about this? Glazed, fresh, hot Krispy Kremes. Go.
Oh, okay.
What's your number?
Oh, Krispy Kremes?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
smaller. They almost dissolve.
I'm
In
thinking I
8
could probably
minutes?
get 8.
Yeah, I would say 8 or 9.
1 a minute?
And that's if I'm like not caring about how I'm going to feel later. I'm just going for it.
That's because the first 4 are going to go down quick. And then I'm slowing down because I've got so much sugar.
I don't know.
I'll bet you Richie could get to 12.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 14.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you right now, like a dozen feels like a lot, though. Now that I'm really thinking about it, it's not heavy, but it's it's just the amount of sugar. Like,
yeah.
But then again, I mean, these guys barf after these competitions. So if I have my eye on the prize, like, I'm gonna heave after I'm done eating whatever the amount of donuts is.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, but like, okay, so figure how many donuts do you have to eat every minute? All right, so 2 a minute, say. Okay, so 16?
God, I want to puke just thinking about
it. That sounds like way too many. I'll say a dozen. A dozen donuts is probably because you finished that one box and you're just proud of yourself.
Right. I don't think.
How many would you say?
I would say probably 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
I just like physically, I want to know the logistics behind getting 59 of them. Like, are you eating 4 at once?
I don't know. He's eating one every 8 seconds.
Oh my
That
God.
is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard.
I mean,
So that's like, is he doubling up, smushing down, and just throwing them all in his mouth?
maybe.
All right.
I got sidetracked.
I'm
Sorry.
trying to think about okay, so the most food I've eaten recently, this is probably actually close to
999.
Oh yeah, actually that was the most food. Yeah, but that was over a long span of time. I remember recently, this was within the past year. It might be a year ago. But I remember I was starving, didn't eat all day long, and then ordered a boatload of sushi. I mean like a ridiculous amount of sushi. I remember it was like 15 minutes into the meal. And Ann at one point looked at me and she's like, slow down. She was like, what is going on with you? And I was like, what's wrong? Oh, there they are. They're eating them.
They're just
Okay.
they're just taking the donut and they almost smash them down into a tiny ball.
That's what I was saying. Like, do they just take 2 or 3 of them and smush them all
It
together?
looks like they're doing one at a time. He may rip it in half and smother it down.
Yeah.
And then jam it into his mouth.
I'm going to guess like somewhere between 24 and 30 pieces of sushi in like 15 minutes. So, I mean, if like one roll of sushi, you compare that to a donut, then I'm probably right at 12 to 15. I mean, it's really difficult.
So much math there.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, one thing that you noticed during that clip you just played, those guys are eating those donuts. They're all standing.
Yeah.
Like that's the technique is you got to stand. I mean, so at least 8 minutes on their feet. You know what I really hope, honestly, for all of them is that they're wearing their arch supports from the Good Feet store.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
if you're going to really be competing, you need to get those arch supports in your shoes. And here's the reason why. Because with the Good Feet store arch supports, you can improve your performance. You got better balance, injury prevention. All those things are important for competitive eaters. Recovery. If you have low back pain, knee pain, hip pain, foot pain, the Good Feet store is there for you. They have personalized free fitting test walks. You can try before you buy. No fuss, no muss there. Get into a Good Feet store today. 200 locations across the U.S. and overseas. The Good Feet store, helping people out 2 feet at a time. Okay, coming up next, Bryce Miller from the UT going to join us, talk about these the Padres. And then we're going to hear from J-Mac, Jason McIntyre, the Herd. Talk a little NBA Finals coming up. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Monday.
Hour 3, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Hamul Casino. Padres with another rough weekend, losing 2 of 3 to the Cubbies. They still could split the series today. They got one more against the Cubs at home. Starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners. Padres now 27-32 on the year, 4th place in the National League West. Speaking of the NL West, Rockies lose to the Royals yesterday 2-0. Dodgers lose to the Yankees 4-0. Giants lose to the Orioles 8-3, and the D-backs lose to the Braves 8-5. Every team in the National League West losing yesterday. NBA Finals, they just got interesting. Miami Heat wins Game 2 in Denver, 111-108. Moves back to Miami starting on Wednesday. Game time, 5:30. That's going to be Game 3 with it all knotted up at 1 game apiece. Kickoff summer at Hamul's annual block party on Saturday, June 17th. Live music, DJs, free food, $20 in free play, and lots of fun. See HamulCasinoSD.com for all the details. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Woo!
First scream of the week. That one cracked a little bit.
It is a Monday.
Well, I was distracting him. I thought we were playing the whole intro.
I didn't even Yeah. It got going, man. You got to warm up the tubes on a Monday. There's no question about it. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. Fletch was proven correct for maybe the first time since we've been doing this show together. Normally a fountain of misinformation corrected me on something. Aaron Rodgers is the owner of 4 MVPs. I thought it was only 3, one back in 2011 that I've forgotten about. But he has 4 MVPs.
It's incrable.
Heading to one off the record. Peyton Manning has 5.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean,
I feel kind of bad for Brady. I feel like he should have won more.
But he played in a time of Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, who statistically were better quarterbacks.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're talking about, who's the best quarterback ever, who's the greatest quarterback ever to do it, I don't know if you list MVP first when that you're looking at Super Bowls.
Yeah, you're looking at Super Bowl. I mean, Tom Brady's the GOAT because of the team-wide success that he had. I mean, it's not individually. I mean, in terms of like best athlete at quarterback, he's not even close. Best talent at quarterback, I don't really consider him more talented than Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes for that matter. But in terms of best quarterback, like best overall quarterback, I mean, it's Tom Brady, and it's not even close. I mean, you just winning at that rate and being as clutch as he's been over the course of his career is just absolutely outrageous. We got to give a call to our buddy Bryce Miller, yeah?
Yeah.
8:05. Okay, yeah, it was written down as 8 o'clock. So I was like,
I just did the same thing. Like, are we supposed to call someone?
Yeah. We're gonna get Bryce Miller, UT columnist, jump on the show. He wrote a column about the Padres and some of the issues they have in the outfield, and so we'll chat with him about that. Also, later in the hour, we're gonna discuss Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Heat get even with the Nuggets. Game 3 heads back to Miami, and look, it's anybody's series now, because we were talking to Courtney Fallon about this last week, who does radio work with the Miami Heat. And she said Pat Riley said this years ago. I mean, the finals don't really start until somebody wins on the road. And guess what? Yeah. Miami just got a road win, and so we're off to the races here.
Yeah, all of a sudden, momentum swings in Miami's favor when they're going back to Miami and the thing's tied. Look, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think they had answers for, a lot of it, to be quite honest. I think they had a number of issues they needed to work out. Turns out they worked them out real well. And what's crazy is there was a time period where Jokic was on the bench, not playing, and the Nuggets still went on a 20-6 run. So even with that, when Jokic was in the game, the Heat came out and just dominated.
Yeah, it was an impressive game. I think Spoelstra probably gets way too much credit for how the Heat play. I think a lot of people will look at, Eric Spoelstra as like, he's this guru and all that stuff. I think like the bench of the Heat, I think the role players on the Heat, they stepped up in a huge way, and it's a big reason why they got that win. We'll get to that game a little bit more later on, but Bryce Miller, Union Tribune here in San Diego, joining us on the bat phone here. And Bryce, man, we were just talking about a different sporting event. We'll get to the Padres in a moment here. But aboard the USS Midway last Friday, a gentleman named James Webb, not the astrophysicist, the competitive eater, put down 59 and a half donuts in 8 minutes to set a new world record. If you had a dozen or say 2 dozen or 3 dozen, I don't know how big of an eater, Krispy Kreme glazed donuts sitting in front of you, how many could you get through in 8 minutes?
Not many. I don't have the physical skills. I don't have the mental toolbox. I have none of the skills to do that. So I'd be a pretty epic failure.
I love
Same question,
Wow.
but 2 bottles of your favorite bourbon
in 8 minutes.
Well, it depends. It depends what we're talking about. Is it my fantasy football draft or is it just a Wednesday?
Just a Wednesday, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Not much of that either.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
What if your fantasy football draft was on a Wednesday?
Good question,
Yeah.
Trav. Good question.
That's one of those you're crossing the streams there. You're toying with the universe at that point.
Yeah. Well,
Very
that's
true.
what we do here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you kind of toyed with some ideas in your column about the Padres, maybe taking a look at the outfield. Maybe it's time for some changes. Specifically, what do you point to as the biggest problem for the Padres in their outfield?
Well, I mean, in center field, they're just not getting offensive production out of Trent Grisham. I mean, that's nothing new. As I pointed out in the column, it's not a slump. It's who he's been since coming back from an injury I think it was June 12th of 2021. Since that, over more than 2.5 seasons, he's hitting like 198 with a 653 OPS. And what I looked at is I think the argument that people rightfully make, and I got a lot of this in reaction to the column, but how much do you value his Gold Glove level defense versus his offense? And so I looked up in the analytics world, it's called WAR, wins above replacement. It measures the value of your entire game offensively and defensively against average players in the league. And, Grisham this season alone is like the third to last center fielder in WAR, ahead of a couple guys I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever heard of. So the glove has not offset, kind of the cliff dive that his offensive production has been. But I understand why the Padres, with the current construction of the roster, can you do much better? Maybe, but maybe not. And that defense is definitely worth something. But I think there was a little skepticism, and I was in this boat too, and it's early, but at this point, while you're waiting for your stars to hit, which is undoubtedly the biggest issue with Padres, is you need the guys you're paying a lot of money to, doing what they're getting paid to do. But along the way, you got to tinker with stuff, and the Padres went out and got Gary Sanchez because Austin Nola has been another offensive problem. Jake Cronenworth has not produced it anywhere near the level he's getting paid to produce. So that, it's not, Trent Grisham isn't the only problem, but they did address catcher. They're tinkering with something there, but I just remember with Grisham, the argument that's super fair from people is, okay, you move Fernando to center field, he can do that, and you immediately have better production there, and the right field corner outfield spot is easier to replace or to plug somebody in. But it's one of those, can you afford not to try some things at this point? And, they have a catcher, they could here, because at the end of the day, I just remember, when they benched him briefly, toward the end of last year, and Jose Azocar came in. I don't know if it was change of scenery or just a little time off the field to think. Maybe it was a pressure release valve, but we know how incredible he was in the playoffs against the Mets, and also really, really good against the Dodgers. So hiding in there somewhere, it might be there, but you also can't ignore his numbers over the time and also place it against the backdrop of what they're facing as a team this season.
Bryce, you're talking about tinkering. How much time do you think the Padres have left to tinker before the season slips away?
Well, I mean, if they don't hit with runners in scoring position, too much time has already slipped away. How long to get, in April, the guys, the main guys are going to hit. In May, the main guys are going to hit. We're into June, Machado's going to hit. The rest of these guys are going to consistently hit. The more you say that, the more time that rolls by. It's past time in that sense. But there really is just too much resume among too many players on this roster not to think they go on a big run at some point. But the longer this goes, the bigger that run needs to be. So, Soto said this the other day in the clubhouse. It's got to be now. I mean, you got to go now, and that's the reason. Maybe not the loss yesterday. Stroman's an ace for the Cubs, a really good pitcher, has a track record of his own. But at the same time, that kind of amplified. They should have won and could have won the game before. So they're not picking off the games they have great chances to win, and that kind of diminishes their ability to have a little bit of leash moving forward. So, the time is now, as they say.
Bryce, yesterday in the clubhouse, Juan Soto was talking with Kevin Acee, and Marty got the whole thing on video. But Kevin asked him about the inconsistencies. It's like you play a great game like we saw on Saturday, and then you have a game like we saw on Sunday. And Soto kind of said, I don't know if I'm the person you should be asking this to. The other guys would know better than me. Who's he talking about when he says the other guys? Is that coaching staff? Is that other players on this team? And is there a certain level of dysfunction here going on in the clubhouse?
I don't know is the honest answer. I didn't see that video. I wasn't at clubhouse before the game yesterday. I don't know. I've talked to different guys, Joe Musgrove, Matt Carpenter, and they both have said, and just kind of it's come up in casual conversation with both of them. They said it's not really a chemistry problem, but Musgrove said, when you're losing, it sucks. No one likes to lose, and it's hard to fake that, the kumbaya stuff, when there's so much collective struggling. They've tinkered with things, the sombrero and the piñata stuff in Mexico City when it seemed like the big numbers there, even though it's at altitude, might launch them a little bit, and it didn't. And so they're trying to do more stuff off the field. They have said, like on the recent road trip, and so they're trying to work on just what is that key to find the balance between relaxed and confident and comfortable and just losing too much. And so I don't know. There may be more going on there, but at this point, you feel them kind of wrestling with that almost every day.
Yeah, no question about it. Bryce Miller joining us, San Diego Union Tribune this morning on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. I have a pretty simple question to ask, and I feel like the answer is too complex. Who's the leader of this team?
That's a good question. I don't know that it's quite one person. It's always kind of, Manny, on the position player side, and Musgrove. Musgrove undoubtedly, Machado a lot of times for sure. I mean, I think back to that, whenever it was, I can't even remember when, Manny had that kind of, dugout blowout with Fernando, saying it's not about you. And so, he's not afraid to, obviously we saw it publicly, to say what needs to be said. And he probably does more of that behind the scenes than we're all aware of. So I would start there. For sure, they thought guys coming in. Xander Bogaerts is known to be a clubhouse guy who says what he thinks. Nelson Cruz had, 2 decades of experience, and his links to, a lot of players in the clubhouse in the Dominican, carried a lot of weight, and he was, the GM of the WBC team there, and that means something to, a lot of guys in that clubhouse. But he hasn't produced at the level to be that voice. So is he still being that voice? They're not only working through things on the field, they're working off the field too. I would be certain.
Bryce, this Wednesday, huge event happening. The Hardwood and Balls Classic here. Our very own Ben Fletcher will be taking on Darren Smith's producer, Jay Riff, in a one-on-one basketball tournament. Are you the guy who's going to be covering that for the UT?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it was like when Gonzaga and Michigan State played on the aircraft carrier. It's just hard to get in. I don't even know if we'll get a press pass. So it's one of those that it's if would we like to be there? Sure. I just don't know if we get in. I know there's a crusher request.
Here you go, Bryce. You have a press pass.
Yeah.
You got one now.
So obviously important to the city, certainly important to the paper and the readership. We just want to do what's best for San Diego, honestly.
Yeah, we do need you to sign a waiver, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're all signing waivers. Ours are being sent over to JD Wicker, the athletic director over there, before the end of the show today. It's I don't know. Have you seen Ben Fletcher in person recently, Bryce? Have you been around Ben in a little bit?
New Year's Eve, I saw you in Las Vegas. That's the last time I saw you.
What?
Yeah, at the UNLV Aztecs basketball game.
Zero recollection.
Oh, at the game itself. I'm like, did we go on some bender at the Tropicana or something? That would be bad.
And if you want to do a bender at the Tropicana, you better hurry up and do so.
Yeah, they're going to knock it down for the A's new stadium. That was a hysterical response, by the way. Ben goes, yeah, I remember exactly what it was, New Year's Eve. And Bryce goes, what?
I guess technically New Year's Day, but you remember there was that crazy storm we all had to get out of Las Vegas? Like, God, like it was yesterday, Bryce.
Hey, you've got to question your decision making when I, of free will, chose to cover a regular season basketball game on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So anything I say moving forward is going to be colored by that decision.
Yeah, Bryce was there in body only.
Well, then, Bryce, let's let you really light the fuse here in San Diego. Buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? I know it's too early, but thoughts?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's too early. I mean, this still can go a lot of directions. It's weird when people look through different lenses of this team. It feels really differently. Like overall record, feel of it, the whole thing says sellers, even though, or maybe sellers, maybe a key sale if there's a singular or something. But at the same time, you look up and going into yesterday, they were, I don't know, 2.5 games or whatever it was, something close to that out of the final wild card spot. So they feel far away in so many ways, but when you look at the actual numbers, because so many other teams that were expected to play well have struggled, they're one good, homestand or road trip away from kind of turning things around. But do you have the confidence they can do that? Have they shown you they can do that? So it kind of is a two-lens conversation at this point, I think.
Yeah, they definitely haven't shown us that yet. I hope I hope sometime in the very near future. Like I was saying earlier today, Bryce, and we'll let you go here, but I mean a 13-2 run, like something, it sounds absurd right now, but like you said, teams can get hot. And it feels like they are supposed to, if you look at the back of all of their baseball cards. I mean, that changes the fortunes completely here, and we're just holding on tight. Or maybe a little loosely, trying not to let go. I don't know.
Oh my God!
Whatever,
no way.
Whatever 38 Special said. Yeah. Anyways, Bryce,
good album cover, by the way.
Good art.
Yeah,
solid art.
I had a pretty good answer dialed up as you were asking, and now the 38 Special thing kind of blew me off the rails. But
I do that. I'm a great interviewer. What can I tell you?
I talked about Melvin a little bit about that. They got to also do the little things. If you're not doing the big things, you definitely have to do the little things. And that's when he brought up to me to the side that they brought out the high velo and changing, curveball kind of breaking ball machines and try to do it at game speed to, recreate that feel of it, to do situational hitting, like shorten it up, opposite field, all these things. So they're kind of in need of almost everything that contending teams do. They don't have the power right now, and they're not consistently scoring. But at the same time, if you're not doing some of the little things like manufacturing runs along the way, so you can pick off a few wins you normally wouldn't, that's essential now. It's even bigger than before. And the whole, 5-4 road trip they came off of, that should have been 7-2. I mean, it absolutely should have. And, it's just a matter of can they win in the margins around the edges because they need to until those bats arrive. And so they're kind of a work in progress, at all angles.
The longest winning streak for the Padres this year, 3 games.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, you can call that a streak. 3 games is officially a streak.
Yeah. And they've done it 3 different times.
Well, so hey,
good.
Feather in the cap of old Friars there, Bryce. Things are looking up Millhouse. All right. Bryce, awesome as always. We'll catch up with you next New Year's Eve.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Oh yeah, or Wednesday. All right,
and
buddy.
not only say hi to me, Ben, when you see me next, but also send me a text so I can kind of have that handy.
Yeah.
Give him a heads up. He's about to see you.
I'll just give you a big hug.
It's going to be
All
a
right.
wet hug. It's like a St. Bernard. All right. We'll catch you later, Bryce. Thanks, buddy.
He's gone.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Jeez,
You really just hang up and
there's no there's no cigarette after dealing with you. It's
Right.
hey, we're
Wow.
done with you, Bryce.
Ouch.
He
Catch
knows I
up with
love
us on the podcast.
Bryce and I text like once a week.
Are you sure?
That does
Are you
not
sure about
sound
that?
accurate.
Doesn't sound accurate at all. I just want to call him back.
We hung out in Vegas during the game.
He
We were
has
just
no
sitting
idea
next to
who
each
you
other.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, he
He
Bryce.
doesn't recall that happening at all.
Bryce is like the first UT guy that I actually had real conversations with.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
I would put more money on Bryce knowing me by my face than I would with Kevin knowing me by my face.
Kevin Acey's our best friend.
That's what we
Yeah.
say. Have
Yeah.
you ever seen him talk to him face to face?
Yes.
I know you have, Travis.
No.
It's because it doesn't happen. Dude.
What?
Kevin
Yeah,
just
in
he'll
fact-
give you the knuckle bump and then he'll just boom.
No.
On
You
Friday-
got to corner him.
on
You
Friday-
you just get him into an area where he can't escape. That's
Friday,
what
I
do.
got to hang out with John on the air in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Kevin Acey came on. He was hundreds of feet from us and didn't come over to the booth.
No kidding.
Yeah. A little
Unbelievable.
rough. And I can only imagine it was
What do you mean
because
by
John was there.
hundreds of feet?
Like where we were set up at the Blind Burrow.
Yeah.
He
Seventh and
he
J.
was right over at the entrance to Petco Park.
Oh,
on the
and he
phone.
didn't just walk down
No.
to see it? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's John.
That's what I
mean,
thought.
because you,
Yeah,
I know
100%
you're
John.
one of his best friends.
Right.
That's
right.
Kevin's move, though, dude. He'll put his AirPods in. Anybody that even tries to talk to him, it's automatically.
If Bryce doesn't want to cover the Hardwood and Balls Classic, would Kevin?
It's a great.
I bet you our best bet is getting like Togerson and Darnay to come out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
Get all this.
Well, we should get all the press.
Has there been a press release at
Not
all?
yet.
We
We need to
should
write that tonight.
up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to write that tonight. This is very important. We have so many things to do.
Get the press release out for
Also,
the next day.
I heard back from John David Wicker,
Oh.
JD the AD, the athletic director at San Diego State. He said, with the cheerleading request, that there's a form for that.
Okay, great.
And then for the pyrotechnics that we really, really want inside the gym
Yeah.
center, he also writes, there's a form for that. So we got
We need
tons of paperwork to do.
Get the paperwork to us and we'll get it done.
All right.
Very cool.
All right. Let's step aside. Let's think about that. Mull it for a little bit. We got to get to the NBA Finals. Game 3 coming up on Wednesday, the second most important basketball game on Wednesday. Between the Heat and the Nuggets, the series is tied. Jason McIntyre with the Herd joins us coming up next.
This update is presented by Hamul Casino. Jason McIntyre coming up in just a second talking about the NBA Finals, but we'll start here with the Padres, who have another head-scratching weekend. They look really good on Saturday, really bad on Sunday, losing 2 of 3 to the Cubbies. Still could split the series today with a win against the Cubs at home. Then starting tomorrow, 2-game series with the Mariners, also at Petco Park. Padres now 27-32 on the season, 4th place in the NL West. We're going to be talking to Jason about this because the NBA Finals just got interesting. The Miami Heat winning Game 2 in Denver, 111-108. Series now moving back to Miami for 2 games as the Heat have taken over home court advantage. Game 3 Wednesday at 5:30. Kickoff summer at Hamul's annual block party on Saturday, June 17th. With live music, DJs, free food, $20 in free play, and lots of fun. See HamulCasinoSD.com for complete details. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Big Rich, TD and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We've been talking a lot about Padres. We've been talking about the Hardwood and Balls Classic. Very, very important game, but also another game that's coming up this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
is
ready
it,
to find. I mean, some people are talking about it. That's why we want to bring it up.
I mean, there's interest. Sure, I wouldn't say it's more interest than the Hardwood and Balls Classic, but there's definitely interest. In the finals. Right. Huge win for the Heat, 111-108 last night on the home court of the Denver Nuggets. Jimmy Butler, somewhat subdued night, 21 points. But Gabe Vincent, big night. He had 23. It was a group effort by the Heat. They get the job done, and they had a huge fourth quarter, not only slowing down the Denver Nuggets offensively, but also what they were able to do to close the gap and take over this game. Jason McIntyre with the Herd, who jumped in the lead host seat last week, did an awesome job joining the program this morning. J-Mac, how you doing, man?
Recovering, my man. We did a random trip out of the country last week, and then got back and did the Herd twice. Played in a soccer tournament over the weekend, and I'm dragging here on a Monday, bro.
Yeah, it does feel like a Monday. Yeah, so you were in France for a couple days. Then, like you
never
said,
been.
Yeah. Oh, really? It was your first time? How was it?
First time, amazing. Listen, they don't sponsor me, but I'm going to give them a shout out because we booked the travel through this company. But Costco, have you ever done Costco travel in your life?
Never. No.
Dude,
Ben Fletcher.
A couple friends recommended it and said the deals are amazing, and I highly recommend it. Good hotel, safe area, proximity to everything, and they free breakfast every morning. And the French food is awesome. So it's like 10 croissants by 9 a.m. But yeah, it was an awesome time, man. I really liked it. Getting back in the swing, tougher though. Time difference, I believe 9 hours from LA.
Oh, wow.
I don't ever want to travel any other way. We did Costco for the honeymoon, and they made the entire process so easy. Like getting picked up, dropped off everywhere, all the transfers taken care of. There was like a $200 resort credit included in our package. And it was just way cheaper than every other option.
Wait. I don't know why we're getting so far away from 10 croissants by 9 a.m.
Yeah, that does sound, sounds like you could have easily added a few more and gotten to a dozen. Or a baker's dozen.
Did you just go like plain croissant? Were you putting anything on these? Did you make it into like a club, Sammy?
They got the chocolate croissant. Those are deadly. Basically, everything has like chocolate. It's Nutella heaven over there. I mean, there's chocolate stores on every corner. I'm not a huge chocolate guy, but Nutella and chocolate in my croissant, like that's a layup for me. I mean, So I gained a few pounds and now trying to work them off and get back into playing shape for the summer. Hey, show muscles for the beach, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. You know me, show muscles. Hey, so you mentioned layup last night. Was no layup for the Heat. That was, a hard fought victory. They got down early. They mounted the comeback. It started in the second quarter. They were able to close the gap, got out there in the third quarter, played hard, played tough, separated in the fourth. What did you see out of Miami? And did you expect to see what you saw out of Miami?
Yeah, Miami fans not happy with me because I basically said it was a fluky fourth quarter. I mean, dude, they made 9 of their first 10 shots. I think they shot 11 of 16, which puts them in like one of the 3 best fourth quarters shooting wise in the last 25 years of NBA basketball. And it's like, that's not sustainable. You guys know this. The Heat basically had a lucky quarter. Duncan Robinson comes off the bench, 0 points in the game, and then goes bing, bang, boom, 8 straight points. Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
So I still think Denver's in the driver's seat. I will say the strategy of letting Jokic eat and hugging up Murray and not giving anything to Porter and KCP, like that seemed to work. Those are your two choices, right? Right. We're going to swarm Jokic and not let him get his, or we're going to just let him eat. And he had 40. Fun stat I had on the pod today. Jokic scores over 40 in the playoffs. They're 0-3, 13-1 when he doesn't. So it's just like, let him go. He'll score. And we're not going to let Murray have 25. We're not going to let Gordon have 50, that kind of deal.
J-Mac, how you feeling about game 3 though? If Heat win this one, does your feeling change and all of a sudden you think the Heat start rolling through this?
The one thing that I don't know a lot of people accounted for is the extra day off, right? So you had an extra day off at altitude. Now you get an extra day off for travel. Miami's going to be rested. And the one plus for the Heat is we haven't seen the Jimmy Butler game yet, where he goes for like 38 and like 15 in the fourth. He hasn't had that game yet because he had it against the Bucks. He obviously had it against Boston. He's the man, and he hasn't dominated yet. So there's a chance if they steal game 3, I think it's definitely series on, but the Nuggets are still heavy favorites to win the title. So I'm still sticking with Denver in 7, which I had before the series.
And I think a lot of people are, and it makes sense because on paper, the Nuggets are the better basketball team. Analytically, the Nuggets are the better basketball team. Best player to best player, the Nuggets are the better basketball team. But I don't think the Heat think that. Like, is there something to be said about the Heat's mentality going into all these games?
Yeah, no, that's listen. You play in the league. You know the drill in the NFL. It's like, just because we're 2-11 or whatever doesn't mean they're that much better than us. The margins are slim out there, and you get Gabe Vincent throwing in like 6 threes, and then Duncan Robinson goes off, and next thing you know, it's a close game. But I'll say this: Denver had a 3 to tie, despite a historically great fourth quarter by the Heat. Denver had a 3 to tie in the final second. So, Denver's still the better team. I am curious if you're ranking the top 5 players in the series. Obviously, Jokic is 1. I think Butler would be 2. But who's 3, 4, and 5? Because I would go Murray, Bam, and then 5 is kind of wide open. No.
Yeah, Martin. I mean, that was
Martin.
I mean,
yeah. Half of America didn't know who he was before the Heat started this playoff run. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, the only reason why we do is he came out of the Mountain West. I mean,
oh, that's right. Yeah, Nevada.
Yeah, like other than that, I mean, trust me, I understand the sort of the anonymity amongst the national fans. Talking with Jason McIntyre, the Herd, you hear him right after this show coming up. Yeah, I mean, we're interfering with some pre-show prep here for you, Jason McIntyre. This might be meditation time for you. We apologize.
It's funny. I get in, I lay on the sofa in the little dressing room, and I look at the list and I see like Ja Morant suspension. Yeah. What's your guess? Is it? And I start analyzing. I'm like, so I know he embarrassed the league after they reprimanded him, but basically he was seen holding a gun in an Instagram video.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can you give him 40 games for that?
Right. I mean, that's what they're talking about, J-Mac. They're talking about 40. No? I've heard 50 games from people talking. But I mean, whispers out there.
He did it twice. And the first time he got suspended. The second time they have to go bigger with the punishment, right?
Right. So, but how big? So the big unknown is what exactly did the NBA uncover? Because Adam Silver said that we found some other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
There's some details in the Washington Post a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if they can bring that back into play. This probably seems like 20, 25, 50 games. Like, what did Gilbert Arenas get when he brought the gun into DC? Remember that?
Oh yeah. I do remember that. I forget. I feel like it was a half season. I don't feel like it was a full season. And to your point, yeah. So you would be, if you gave him 40 games, you'd be matching the Gilbert Arenas suspension, which I feel like was far more egregious. I mean, think about
brought a gun into the locker room and put her on a chair.
Think about how far sideways that could have went. I mean, thank goodness it didn't. But
I think the other guy in that Crittenden, I think he's in jail now.
Unbelievable.
Not for that, but there was some other stuff where he kind of went sideways. Yeah, man. Life is, it can go quickly for some people out there. And I don't know. Listen, Ja Morant, man. All right. You watch these playoffs. Who you guys taking? Jamal Murray or Ja Morant? Like Devin Booker or Ja Morant?
You mean just in terms of who I like better, whose game I like better?
Who would you rather have on your team if you're the GM or the coach or whatever?
It's so crazy. I would have said easily before all of this off the court stuff, I would have said Ja Morant. But now, give me Booker all day long. Give me Murray all day long, just because they're the more even, consistent human being. You know you can rely on them. But Ja is a highlight reel.
Yeah, what De'Aaron Fox or John Morant?
I mean, I would still say Fox. I mean, right now,
without a doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I don't want the headache as a manager having to deal with this. I mean, just
Listen, I mean, Fox against the Warriors was amazing. I know Game 7 didn't go their way, but Curry had like 50. But Fox he seems like a superstar to me, and he's down to earth. You know, he's got his act together. I don't want to go out of bounds here, but he's married, and I think his wife just had a kid, or she's having a kid. But it seems like he's got his life together. And John Morant is just going friggin' sideways. It's not good.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I mean, and hopefully for his benefit and for frankly the benefit of the Grizzlies and the league, he gets it figured out quick, because like you said, he's an overwhelming talent on the court. But right now, you would take lesser talents who just have more stability, who you can count on more, who are going to be there, not suspended for these infractions, team violations, code of conduct stuff, because that's important too. You could be the best player in the world, but if you're not on the court, nobody knows it. You got to be on the court. You got to be available.
Yeah, I don't want to go compare him to like a Johnny Manziel or who's that other? Baker Mayfield kind of went sideways a little bit. Obviously not in the John Morant realm, but like some of these guys make mistakes when they're young. John Morant's still what is he, 23, 24? Like, it's tough, man. Listen, you played in the league. I can't imagine what I would be like if I was handed $50 million when I was like 23 years old. I was already a disaster. I can't imagine how magnified it would be with all that money, fame, and women just throwing themselves at me. I mean, that part happened, but no, I'm kidding.
I mean, exactly. You know that real well. It's all the other stuff. Hey, J-Mac, we know you're a big Jets fan. Apparently, they're still trying to work out Aaron Rodgers' contract. They don't know what to do with this $58 million. They're asking him, is there any way we can pay you that next year? Is this going to hurt the team, J-Mac?
Well, one would hope they kind of discussed this, before when the owner flew out to kiss his butt and get him. One would hope they discussed that, because I don't know where DeAndre Hopkins. I didn't see, he didn't go anywhere over the weekend, right? No, he signed.
No, he did not sign.
Why wouldn't you make a play for him? I know he wants a ton of money, but it's like, Aaron Rodgers. Can we stretch your contract out or whatever it is, so we don't have to give you $58 million? Maybe we dump Corey Davis, we bring in Hop, and now we got Mecole Hardman, Garrett Wilson, D Hop. Like there's something there. I don't know. Do you guys think Hopkins has lost his step?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know until we see him. Past two seasons, he's been injured for portions of the season or suspended for portions of the season. But when he's been available, he was on pace to have some of his best seasons. He just, again, the same way we were talking about Jean Morant, it's availability that has been the only problem with Hopkins.
But contested ball catching, I still think he's probably the best in the league at it. And that's what Aaron Rodgers needs. He needs someone to win the 50-50 balls.
Red zone.
Yeah, he had Devontae Adams. It was amazing. And then you lose Adams, and it's like Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson. They weren't winning contested balls. They were just fast as hell and getting open. You had Hopkins. Remember, also, Alan Lazard, jump ball guy in the red zone. Like, it makes all the sense in the world for the Jets to make a play for Hopkins at the right price, obviously. I think that Eric Mangini was on the herd last week and said that the Cleveland Browns make sense because of the Watson connection. They're boys, apparently. But speaking of Hopkins leaving Arizona, Cardinals clearly tanking, right? I mean, they're in full tank mode, which is crazy because they paid their franchise quarterback. I mean, Kyler Murray, you got to wonder where his head's at.
You got to, as a Cardinals fan, you have to realize that after what they just did, cutting DeAndre Hopkins, like you're in for 2 years, like, because they have to live through this Kyler Murray and then rebuild after that. You can't cut him this season. They have to wait till after this full season with Kyler before they can release him or try to trade him. I would assume they would at least try to trade Kyler Murray. The Cardinals, as usual, are a complete mess, but you aren't, my friend. I know you're a little jet lagged. I know you're a little sore from the weekend of soccer, but you're perfect as always. We appreciate your time, and we'll do it again real soon.
All right, fellas. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
There he goes, Jason McIntyre. Honestly, if you haven't listened to Straight Fire, the podcast, J-Mac does an amazing job there. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. We'll let the bit drop. Coming up next, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. All right, we close out this show by letting the bit drop. That's coming up next. We didn't get to this story, but Dalvin Cook still not traded or released by the Minnesota Vikings. Fitting a little NFL here because we've talked mostly NBA, mostly hardwood balls and classic.
Rightfully
Hardwood
so.
and balls classic.
Hardwood and balls classic.
Hardwood and balls and classic. The one-on-one game between Ben Fletcher and Jonathan Rifkin, where I mean, it's now become personal. I mean, Jonathan Rifkin has released, I don't know if he's released it on Twitter yet. Have we gotten eyes on his Twitter account?
I'll look right now.
Pretty sure he just wants to use our TikTok account for it.
Maybe he does.
Oh, he does?
Maybe he does, which I'm not opposed to because,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy put a lot of effort into the production value.
It's really good.
I think we're going to release part 2 today.
I would say so.
Okay, yeah.
I would say so.
Okay.
At very least within the coming days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
We absolutely need to.
He does not have this currently on his Twitter.
Okay. We need to talk to him about this.
Yeah, really. I mean, the world should probably see it.
It's incredible. We already played it earlier today. But it's become personal because we put out our training video for Ben Fletcher and then J-Riff. I mean, he answers with a training video of his own, and he had Snoop Dogg narrate his.
We haven't released all the training video.
That's true.
In fact, we haven't released the training video at all. We released you two talking about training me.
We have a montage.
We do have a montage. We're there's actually still clips for a training video.
Yeah.
But those just haven't been put together yet.
No, we just have to edit them.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. No big deal.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Griffin.
Yeah. We'll get around to it, Griff. No big deal.
I mean, we're paying you nothing.
Yeah. Except with all the hard work that we did for you in front of that camera.
Look,
Give him donuts.
We made this easy for you.
We did
pal.
give him a donut.
We did.
Yeah. I think only one. We had dozens, literally.
Well, every donut in that box had a bite taken out of it except for the one he took.
I apologize for that. I wanted to try them all. Oh my God. Yeah. So Dalvin Cook hasn't been traded, hasn't been released by the Minnesota Vikings. He carries a $10.5 million salary this upcoming season. I have a feeling that's the sticking point.
Dude, number one on my list for bust season.
You think so?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Interesting.
Dude,
Even if he goes to Miami, because that's like the courtship that everybody's talking about.
He's not going to be able to do what he's been doing in Minnesota. Like, he's so good. He's so fast, so explosive. Those knees are going to go. They already have gone a couple times. Hasn't he torn his ACL twice?
I know for sure once he had a big knee injury to
he's
start his
heading
career.
for like one of those Melvin Gordon years where all of a sudden the brake pads just stop working. So if he's just going straight, he's fine. But any sort of cutting back and forth, like running backs have expiration dates. By the way, like closer to home, Christian McCaffrey might be in for one of those years where you see the decline.
Well, I don't see the decline with Dalvin Cook, and he's still young. I mean, he's only in what, year 7 coming up?
This is either 6 or 7 coming up, but that's for running backs, dude. That's it.
28 years old. I mean, but he's rolling off of 2 1,100-yard seasons.
He's been fantastic. I love watching him play. I just think if there's going to be a decline, it might be this year we start to see it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, still,
this would be the time where Belichick would say better to move off him too early than too late. If you're the Vikings and if you're Kevin O'Connell, maybe now's the time.
Wow.
You still have Alexander Madison back there, who's a stud.
Yeah.
You can find someone.
I mean, Madison is not Dalvin Cook.
No, but he's good enough.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook's a stud.
He's so good. But is this the year that we start to see? Like, I'm just projecting out. Like, I love Dalvin Cook. He's been on my fantasy team a bunch of times.
Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'm not saying, hey, you know what they
not
need
drafting
to do
him this year
is sign him for the next 5 years and give him about 50 mil.
Yeah,
like,
right, right.
no. I mean, I agree with you. Like, he's got probably a lot more yesterday's log than he will have tomorrow's in the NFL. But I mean, you're talking about one of the better running backs in the league right now.
Yeah, but there could be a decline coming this
There
year.
could.
If we're projecting,
Yes.
that's someone on my list of you could see a decline.
All right. I'm going to tell you right now, draft him in the first round on your fantasy team.
Someone will.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
I would do it.
Yeah, I would give it a shot. I mean, it's got a pretty good track record. Every single day, we have a pretty good track record.
You're damn right.
Yeah,
Because we do this.
I'll wake up from a sleep injury, and it takes me weeks to recover. It's accurate.
A sleep injury?
Oh, God.
I love how you gave it a name.
Probably have one.
Yeah, but
every couple months.
You ever like sleep with your arm under your pillow the wrong way and then like the back of your shoulder hurts for about 2.5
And
weeks?
it's like underneath your shoulder blade. There's no way you can get to it.
Yeah.
It's just misery.
I have that
sleep
moment
injury.
like once every 2 weeks where I'll be sleeping on my arm and it completely falls asleep. And then you wake up and you think your arm is done forever.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, it's
right.
up.
Freaks you out.
No feeling at all.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when it comes back, you get the pins and
The
needles.
tingles.
Oh, it's the worst.
Because I'll just be there like this. Come on.
Yeah. That's fun. Hey, who do we think today, Ben?
Bryce Miller of the San Diego Union Tribune. Also, Jason McIntyre. You're going to hear him in about 5 minutes on The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Trav. Roadies, dogs, hangers, bangers. Love y'all. And JD the 80.
Yeah,
our
man.
guy.
Yeah. We got to send him our waivers.
Can he come on the show tomorrow?
Yeah, let's get JD on. Yeah, I'll text with him after the show. JD the 80 coming up tomorrow. I'll make the promise right now. The Herd's next.